Chapter 526. Shanghai Pass was the first stage of the Huangtian Mystic Realm's Emperor Road. As far as the eye could see, the entire impregnable pass towered above the stars, exuding an ancient and majestic atmosphere. The city gate was like the heavenly gate, hundreds of feet tall. There was an ancient plaque on it, with the word Shanghai Pass written in blood-stained ink. The entire Shanghai City Pass was shrouded in starlight and moonlight, like a giant that had been silent since ancient times. A vast Milky Way surrounded the Shanghai City Pass, like a moat. Even someone as knowledgeable as Jun Xiaoyao couldn't help but sigh at the majestic city gate. Jun Xiaoyao approached Shanghai Pass. He could feel a powerful aura lurking in the depths of Shanghai Pass, and it was at least a supremacy. It should be the guardian of Shanghai Pass, Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. Each of the 18 stages of the Huangtian Mystic Realm's Emperor Road had a guardian. Of course, they usually did not show up. They would only show up if there was a major disturbance. As soon as Jun Xiaoyao approached the city gate, the soldiers guarding the gate blocked Jun Xiaoyao's path with their long spears. Those below the heavenly god realm are not allowed to enter. The soldier was clad in armor and said coldly. Jun Xiaoyao's face was blurred. Although he had an extraordinary temperament, he did not reveal any aura. Jun Xiaoyao did not say anything. His body shook slightly, and a wisp of aura shook the soldiers away. He entered the city leisurely. The soldiers felt their scalps go numb. That aura sent chills down their spines. How is this possible? This is only the first stage of the Emperor Road. How can there be such a powerful genius? The soldiers were frightened. Logically speaking, the further one went on the Emperor Road, the more opportunities one would find, and the stronger those geniuses would be. However, this was only the first stage, and there could not even be many opportunities. The commotion at the city gate also attracted the attention of some people in Shanghai City Pass. A few young men with unshaven beards shook their heads when they saw this scene. Ignorance is bliss. Another arrogant genius has stepped onto the Emperor Road. When he goes further, he will recognize the reality and know how cruel the Emperor Road is. Yeah, how many of the top geniuses from the immortal realm have fallen? There are only a few people who can make it onto the Huangtian Saint ranking. Most of them are dead. As a cultivator, I'm sorry, these young men looked depressed and dejected. It was obvious that they had failed to pass the Emperor Road. That's enough. You failed the Emperor Road, and you think others can't? Another girl in yellow could not stand it. These people could not make it, but they thought they could not. That's the reality. Only a handful of people can make it onto the Barren Sky Saint ranking and become famous on the Emperor Road. Could he be one of them? The disappointed young men shook their heads. They were all old-timers. On the other side, Jun Xiaoyao was strolling around Shanghai City. To be honest, after walking in the lonely universe for a long time, he felt a sense of familiarity when he came here. Sir, now that you've arrived at the first stage of the Emperor Road, aren't you going to leave your name on the stone tablet as a souvenir? A cultivator asked. Oh, Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows. Soon, he arrived at the center of the Shanghai City Pass. He saw a giant stone tablet that towered into the Milky Way. There were many names engraved on it. They were all left behind by the geniuses who had challenged the Emperor Road. This stone tablet is not that simple. Geniuses with average talent and cultivation can't leave their names on it, the cultivator explained. Is that so? Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. He was not interested in leaving his name on it. Jun Xiaoyao did not need a stone tablet to record his name. Once he conquered the entire Emperor Road, it was only natural that everyone would spread his name. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was about to leave, the few young men with unshaven beards walked over. Brother, if you don't even have the courage to leave your name on the stone tablet, then I advise you not to continue. That's right. The Emperor Road is dangerous. It's not something we can challenge. It's better to stay here and save our lives. The prosperity of the Emperor Road belongs to the top geniuses. Mediocre people like us don't have anything. These young men were not deliberately mocking him. They simply thought that not everyone could do well in the Emperor Road. It seems like you're not from the Huangtian Mystic Realm, Jun Xiaoyao suddenly said. The young men were stunned and nodded slightly. If the people of the Huangtian mystic realm saw Jun Xiaoyao, they would be able to guess at least 70 to 80% of his identity. Obviously, these people did not know him. Jun Xiaoyao knew that apart from the geniuses of the Huangtian mystic realm, there were also other geniuses who had taken the Emperor Road. There were also geniuses from the ancient star fields around the Huangtian mystic realm. If the nine heavens mystic realm were 9 giant continents, these ancient star fields were small islands scattered around the continents. Each of these ancient star fields was larger than the lower worlds. There were also some powerful orthodoxies and top geniuses. However, these people from the ancient star fields obviously did not know Jun Xiaoyao. At most, they had heard of Jun Xiaoyao's name. Sir, don't listen to them. They're all failures. You are different. At this moment, the girl in yellow appeared. She looked at Jun Xiaoyao with a strange light in her eyes. Jun Xiaoyao was shrouded in a mist of immortal light. His face was blurry. However, his immortal-like temperament could not be concealed. It made her look at him. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly and did not say anything. He raised his hand and drew a line on the stone tablet. Following this, the ancient boulder began to tremble vigorously, as if it was under great pressure. What's going on? At the gate of the city, the soldiers rushed over after hearing the news. All the living beings in the entire Shanhai Pass were startled. They looked at the stone tablet in shock. The stone tablet, which towered into the stars and had the names of countless geniuses carved on it, began to crack and crumble as soon as Jun Xiaoyao drew a horizontal line across it. The entire stone tablet shattered into pieces on the ground. In the Shanhai Pass, all the cultivators and living beings were dumbfounded. The stone tablet that recorded the names of countless geniuses was shattered just like that. How is this possible? Many people gasped. As for the depressed young men, they instantly woke up as if cold water had been poured over their heads. Their eyes were filled with shock. The girl in yellow was also stunned. She was extremely shocked. Previously, she had seen Long Shu Huang Jin, the third prince of the sea god, and other top geniuses on the barren sky, saint ranking, leave their names here. However, they did not make the stone tablet shatter. At most, it shone brightly. But now, the mysterious young master in front of him, who was like an immortal, had shattered the stone tablet before he could even write down his name. What did this mean? It seems that this stone tablet is not worthy of bearing my name. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. Then, he no longer had any interest in the first stage of the Mountain Sea realm. He directly flew into the sky and continued to step on the Emperor's Road. He left behind a group of shocked cultivators in Shanhai Pass. What kind of genius has stepped on the Emperor's Road? Even the immortal descendants of the barren sky mystic realm, the ancient freaks, can't be so strong, right? Many cultivators and living beings who stayed in Shanhai Pass broke out in cold sweat. A ferocious person had entered the Emperor's Road. The young men were scared out of their wits. They collapsed on the ground. Their legs were weak, and they could not stand up for a long time. Young master, what is your identity? You're actually so monstrous. The yellow-clothed girl's eyes were filled with admiration. In the depths of Shanhai Pass, a supreme aura spread. A figure stood, looking at Jun Xiaoyao's back as he left. The son of God of the Jun family has stepped on the Emperor's Road. This battle of the Emperor's Road is going to be interesting, the guardian of Shanhai Pass said lightly. Chapter 5:27. The first stage of the Mountain Sea realm was the Emperor Road's asks. Jun Xiaoyao had no intention of stopping at all and immediately set off again. Only those who were cowardly would stop and stay within the city. Once again stepping onto the ancient starry path, everything seemed very monotonous. Occasionally, there would be some ignorant space bandits who wanted to intercept and kill Jun Xiaoyao halfway, but they were all killed by him with a single hand. Sometimes he would encounter a meteorite belt, and meteorites would bombard him. Jun Xiaoyao did not even move his fingers, and the surrounding space would explode with a vibrating force, shattering all the meteorites. This was Jun Xiaoyao's initial achievement after comprehending the space book. The space book controls the Tao of space. If combined with some movement techniques, wouldn't I have the fastest speed in the world? Jun Xiaoyao suddenly thought. He continued strolling on the starry path. Sometimes, when he passed by some ancient planets with life, he would collect some sacred medicine, rare minerals, and so on. However, these opportunities were not particularly good in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. Could it be that the opportunities in the first few stages have all been collected? Jun Xiaoyao sighed softly. However, he was not disappointed. The real great opportunities were all in the ancient ultimate road. Next, Jun Xiaoyao continued to travel on the ancient starry path for 3 months. He also passed the second, third, fourth, and fifth stages. However, he did not stop and just pass by. Soon, Jun Xiaoyao saw another magnificent city pass in the starry sky ahead. It was the 6th stage of the Huangtian Emperor Road, the Sword Gate Pass. Jun Xiaoyao entered the city directly. Geniuses below the Tao God realm were not qualified to enter this city. However, Jun Xiaoyao naturally entered directly. The soldiers guarding the gate sensed a wisp of Jun Xiaoyao's aura, and there was deep shock in their eyes. After entering the Sword Gate Pass, Jun Xiaoyao prepared to move on to the next pass without stopping, just as he had done before. At this moment, he heard the discussions of some cultivators. Have you heard? The Guanghan Ancient Starfield's Cold Moon Fairy has invited a group of geniuses to a gathering. It seems like she has found out about a place of opportunity and wants to explore it together. Yeah, I heard that Qingyun Ancient Starfield's young Master Qingyun and the others are also going. Young Master Qingyun, the top genius who has cultivated a strand of immortal qi. That's right. If you haven't cultivated a strand of immortal qi, you are not qualified to go with the Cold Moon Fairy. These discussions attracted Jun Xiaoyao's attention. A place of opportunity? Jun Xiaoyao pondered. Along the way, he did not find any opportunities that he was particularly interested in. Now that there was such an opportunity, he couldn't miss it. The embryonic form of divine qi. Jun Xiaoyao smirked in disdain. Geniuses who had cultivated a strand of immortal qi were considered small giants in the Emperor Road. They could enter the barren sky, saint ranking, and would be respected wherever they went. Almost no other geniuses dared to provoke them. There are also some geniuses who were talented. Although they had not cultivated a strand of immortal qi, they had cultivated the young Master Qingyun realm immortal qi. These geniuses were considered top geniuses. If they could cultivate immortal qi in the future, they would be like small giants who were qualified to enter the barren sky saint ranking. As for the Qingyun Ancient Starfield and Guanghan Ancient Starfield, they were all starfields surrounding the Huangtian Mystic Realm. As the top genius of the younger generation in the Huangtian Mystic Realm, Jun Xiaoyao naturally did not care about these little geniuses in the corners. Soon, Jun Xiaoyao arrived at a restaurant. Many geniuses in the Sword Gate Pass had also gathered here. Even if they could not be chosen as allies by the Cold Moon Fairy, they could at least catch a glimpse of her. Looking at the male cultivators who were fighting to enter the restaurant, Jun Xiaoyao shook his head. There was no lack of bootlickers everywhere. On the top floor of the restaurant, there was a hubbub of voices. There were more than 100 seats, but there were no empty seats. Some geniuses who were not strong enough did not even have a seat. When Jun Xiaoyao arrived and saw this scene, he was slightly shocked. The Cold Moon Fairy was quite popular. Move aside. Jun Xiaoyao looked at a genius sitting in front of him and said calmly. The genius turned around and was about to shout when he saw Jun Xiaoyao shrouded in a mysterious aura. He immediately swallowed his saliva and gave up his seat. There was an unspoken rule in the Emperor Road. When encountering geniuses whose faces were blurry, glowing, and had special effects, one should never provoke them. One might even lose one's life if one were to provoke them. This prodigy was clearly well-versed in this Tao. After Jun Xiaoyao took his seat, he waited for the Cold Moon Fairy to arrive. At this time, the arrival of a group of people caused a commotion in the restaurant. It's young Master Qingyun from the Qingyun Ancient Starfield. He really came. Nonsense. He is a loyal follower of the Cold Moon Fairy. Of course, he won't miss this. Young Master Qingyun is the son of the Qingyun sect leader from the Qingyun Ancient Starfield. He is the successor of an immortal force. The servants following him are all boundary sages. Many people were discussing. Jun Xiaoyao looked over calmly. Young Master Qingyun was holding a folding fan and wearing a green robe. His cultivation base was at the early stage boundary sage. On the other hand, the middle-aged servant beside him was at the great circle of the boundary sage. He should not be far from the sage tribulation. Jun Xiaoyao only glanced at him and looked away. This kind of person was not even worthy of carrying his shoes. Young Master Qingyun sat in the front seat. This is a good chance for me to get close to the cold moon fairy. Young Master Qingyun waved his folding fan and smiled confidently. He must win the cold moon fairy's heart. Not long after, the cold moon fairy finally arrived. She wore a moon-white robe that covered her flawless body. Her arms were as white as snow, and her legs were long and slender. Her face was exquisite, and her brows were slender. Her skin was smooth, and her bones were smooth. She looked holy and otherworldly. There was a faint white crescent moon mark in between her eyebrows. It was obviously related to her inheritance. The cold moon fairy is finally here. She is the saintess of the Guanghan ancient starfield's Guanghan Palace. She has cultivated an embryonic form of divine qi. Not only is she beautiful, but she is also strong and good at music. If I can get the favor of the cold moon fairy, I am willing to be buried in the Emperor Road. The atmosphere in the restaurant became lively with the arrival of the cold moon fairy. Cold moon fairy's real name was Mui Wehan. At this moment, her beautiful eyes swept across the crowd like a crow's cry. She had a cold personality. If not for the fact that she was not confident in this opportunity, Mui Wehan would not have invited anyone else. Her cold moon-like eyes swept across young Master Qingyun. Seeing the fiery look in his eyes, she frowned slightly. That gaze was like a wolf or a tiger, which made her unhappy. But when she remembered that he was the son of the Blue Cloud sect master, Mui Wehan suppressed her displeasure. The Blue Cloud sect master was a famous, supreme being in the ancient starfield around the Huangtian mystic realm. Then, Mui Wehan noticed Jun Xiaoyao, who was sitting at the back of the crowd. His aura was like that of a deity who had come to the mortal world. Just when Mui Wehan was wondering when such a mysterious genius had come to the Sword Gate, the young master said, "Young Master Qingyun." The immortal-like young master suddenly opened his mouth and said, "She actually has a pure yin body. That's a good physique for a furnace." As soon as these words were spoken, the entire bustling restaurant instantly went silent like cicadas in winter. Chapter 528. Jun Xiaoyao recognized Mui Yuhan's body the moment he saw her. She had a pure yin body. This body was usually found in women and ranked in the hundreds among the 3,000 body types. Although it was not as good as the Taiyin body, it was still a very rare body type. Most importantly, this pure yin body type was very suitable to be used as a cauldron. If he could dual cultivate with a woman with a pure yin body, his cultivation speed would increase greatly. Everyone knew that Mui Wehan had a pure yin body. They also knew that a pure yin body was very suitable to be used as a cauldron. As for young Master Qingyun, although he was truly fond of Mui Wehan, it was inevitable that he would want to dual cultivate with Mui Wehan to increase his cultivation speed. However, it was one thing to think about it in his heart. It was another thing to say it out loud. Who is he? How can he be so rude? How dare he say that Cold Moon Fairy has a good cauldron body type? The crowd was riled up. Many glared at Jun Xiaoyao, thinking that he had spoken without thinking and had offended a beautiful woman. What? Did I say something wrong? Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. It was their own business if they wanted to suck up to him. Jun Xiaoyao had no interest in that. He was just telling the truth. Even Mui Wehan was slightly taken aback. There was a trace of astonishment in her moon-like eyes. As the saintess of the Moon Palace, she was famous for her beauty even though she was not the top prodigy on the Emperor Road. Even some of the little giants who truly cultivated a strand of immortal energy treated her in a cultured and refined manner, wishing to befriend her. However, this mysterious young master in front of her was so direct that he said that she had a cauldron body type. Mui Wehan looked at Jun Xiaoyao deeply. However, before she could say anything, young Master Qingyun stood up and said coldly, "Cold Moon Fairy is the saintess of the Guanghan Palace, an immortal force in the Guanghan ancient star system. How dare you blaspheme her?" Everyone knew that young Master Qingyun had spoken. He was showing his loyalty to the beauty. Immediately, a few young elites from the ancient star field scolded him. Jun Xiaoyao smiled coldly. This smile was very familiar. This was the rhythm of someone dying. At this moment, the quasi-saint's servant next to young Master Qingyun felt a chill run down his spine. He glanced at Jun Xiaoyao with a wisp of bewilderment in his eyes, and then he said in a low voice, "Young Master, please stop talking for now." Young Master Qing Yin coldly snorted and didn't say anything else. Mu Yuehan's beautiful eyes flashed with an indescribable look when she saw this. She paused for a moment before saying, "Why does young master need to sit at the back? Why don't you sit at the head of the table?" Hearing Mu Yuehan's words, all the young elites present were stunned. Mu Yuehan wasn't angry. Jun Xiaoyao got up and slowly walked to the head of the table and sat down. Mu Yuehan wasn't stupid. Seeing this, young Master Qingyun's face darkened. He glanced coldly at Jun Xiaoyao and sat down as well. Mu Yuehan said, "Thank you, everyone, for agreeing to my invitation. This opportunity will be dangerous, so only those who are quasi-saints or above, or those who have cultivated the embryonic form of immortal qi, are qualified to go with me." Hearing Mu Yuehan's words, most of the young elites present looked disappointed. The quasi-saint realm was not something that anyone could achieve. The Emperor Road had been open for more than a year, and there were very few Emperor Road geniuses who had reached the quasi-saint realm. Those who had reached the quasi-saint realm were qualified to enter the Barren Sky saint ranking. As for the embryonic form of divine qi, it wasn't that easy to cultivate it. Therefore, Mu Yuehan's conditions had undoubtedly dissuaded 99% of the young elites. Only young Master Qingyun and a few other undying descendants from the ancient star field smiled faintly. Seeing everyone's disappointed expression, Mu Yuehan said indifferently, "However, I won't let you all come for nothing. I'll give you a song as a thank you gift." Hearing this, the expressions of the group of elites relaxed slightly. Fairy Yuehan is proficient in music, and her music is superb. To be able to listen to her music today, this trip has been worth it. The young elites were in a good mood again. Mu Yuehan took out a guqin and began to play. Her music was melodious and cold. Mu Yuehan was like a fairy from the moon. Her music was mesmerizing. Young Master Qingyun and the others were also amazed. Not only was Mu Yuehan fair and beautiful, but she also had a pure Yin body. She also knew how to flirt. If they could become partners, it would be a great pleasure. Hundreds of young elites in the restaurant were immersed in the music. Jun Xiaoyao was the only one who looked rather dispirited. He was here to look for opportunities, not to listen to the zither music. Moreover, to be honest, Mu Yuehan's music skills were not bad. But that was all. Jun Xiaoyao actually yawned softly when he heard what Yi Futian said. His yawn instantly disrupted the harmony of the music. Mu Yuehan's jade-like fingers paused, and the music stopped abruptly. Young Master Qingyun and the others came back to their senses and glared at Jun Xiaoyao. This person doesn't know Fairy Yuehan's music skills. He's playing to a cow. What a bummer. Many people were dissatisfied. Even Mu Yuehan frowned slightly. "Young master, do you think Yuehan's music skills are not good enough?" Jun Xiaoyao looked up and said, "It's barely passable, but it's boring." His words were not light, and the bootlickers present were furious. They slammed the table. Young Master Qingyun couldn't help but say, "So you're saying that your music skills are better than Fairy Yuehan's? Then why don't you play a song?" Jun Xiaoyao glanced at young Master Qingyun. This was a classic example of why don't you do it if you can. However, Jun Xiaoyao was able to do just that. "Of course I can. But if you want to listen to my music, you'll have to pay a price," Jun Xiaoyao said meaningfully. Then, he said to Mu Yuehan, "Accompany me. It's boring to be alone." His words stunned all the young elites in the restaurant. How could he say that he wanted Fairy Yuehan to accompany him? Murderous intent flashed in young Master Qingyun's eyes. Jun Xiaoyao had a mysterious aura and seemed to have an extraordinary background. But this was the Emperor Road. It was not impossible for his quasi-saint servant to kill this person. "All right, other than music skills, Yuehan also knows how to play the flute," Mu Yuehan said. She was also a little peeved. Her music skills were second to none in the Guanghan ancient starfield. Although this young master was mysterious, he could not belittle her like this. Flute? I have a flute here, but it's too big. I don't think you'll be able to use it. Jun Xiaoyao looked at Mu Yuehan's small and delicate lips and shook his head slightly. Mu Yuehan was taken aback. She seemed to have understood something, and a faint blush appeared on her porcelain-white cheeks. There was a hint of reproach in her eyes. This young master was a little evil. The surrounding sky prides came to their senses, and their faces turned even redder with hostility. This person dared to profane their goddess with filthy words. You can let Yuehan play the flute, but shouldn't you show some sincerity? At least show your true face, Mu Yuehan said. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly, and the divine glow on his face dissipated. In a split second, a celestial, handsome, and otherworldly face was revealed. Mu Yuehan's heart skipped a beat. Chapter 529. Mu Yuehan did not think that she was a superficial person who only cared about looks. In the past, many handsome sky prides had pursued her, but she did not even look at them. Moreover, in a cruel place like the Emperor Road, strength was more important than looks. However, Jun Xiaoyao's handsomeness was already the kind of handsomeness that could move one's heart. It was as if she had seen the most perfect and flawless thing in the world. She felt touched. At this moment, Mu Yuehan admitted that she was touched. Can you give me a blowjob now? Jun Xiaoyao's expression was playful, but there was a hint of indifference in his eyes. It was as if he was playing with an interesting toy. Mu Yuehan bit her lips slightly. She found it difficult to refuse. She should have said no firmly, but she could not bring herself to say it. She quietly took out a jade blowjob. Seeing this, many sky prides felt their hearts break. Their goddess was being teased, and profaned, but he was not embarrassed at all. This was King ridiculous. Young Master Qingyun's face turned purple as if he had eaten a pile of T. He could not help but turn to the servant beside him and ask, Uncle Gu, who is more handsome between me and that person? The servant named Uncle Gu glanced at young Master Qingyun and silently lowered his head. He was not blind. He could not lie through his teeth. Young Master Qingyun's face turned purple, and his eyes were filled with murderous intent. This person must die. Jun Xiaoyao waved his sleeves, and a scarlet and gold-plated zither appeared in front of him. The entire zither was slender, with phoenix patterns on surface. The dark gold edges made it look low-key and luxurious. The 7 strings were all the color of scarlet crystals. It looked gorgeous and dazzling. This was the 4-star reward that Jun Xiaoyao received from signing in at the ancient kingdom of Phoenix earlier. It was an ancient sacred weapon, the Phoenix's Cry-Chi-Shan zither. That being said, ancient sacred weapons meant little to Jun Xiaoyao at the moment. However, it was still okay to take them out occasionally for self-cultivation. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao take out an ancient sacred weapon, many sky prides were shocked. Jun Xiaoyao might not be interested in ancient sacred weapons, but that did not mean that others would not be interested in them. To these country bumpkins from the ancient starfield, ancient saint weapons were already considered rare and high-grade weapons. It's actually an ancient sacred weapon. Young Master Qingyun's expression was somewhat unnatural. His main weapon was only an ancient sacred weapon. The zither Jun Xiaoyao casually took out were all ancient sacred weapons. It was obvious who was superior. So this person is a tall, handsome, and rich man. Could he be a genius from an immortal force in the Huangtian mystic realm? Some people were shocked. Almost everyone present was a genius from the various ancient star zones. There were only a few geniuses from the Huangtian mystic realm. As such, no one was able to recognize Jun Xiaoyao's origin. Mu Yuehan heaved a sigh of relief. It was a good thing that she had held back and didn't have any conflict with Jun Xiaoyao. Her cold face actually revealed a trace of a smile as she asked, "What is the name of the zither song that young master played?" Jun Xiaoyao smiled, but there was a flash of killing intent in his eyes. This song is called the Formation-Breaking Song. As soon as Jun Xiaoyao finished speaking, he placed all 10 of his fingers on the zither strings. Mu Yuehan also put the jade flute to her lips and prepared to play. However, Jun Xiaoyao plucked the strings at the very next moment. The sound of the guqin was filled with a ferocious aura, sweeping out like a tidal wave. Mu Yuehan's expression changed drastically. She hurriedly dodged behind, not caring about the accompaniment at all. She instantly understood that Jun Xiaoyao wasn't really going to play the zither. Instead, he was going to kill. Other people want money to listen to the song, but this son of God wants your life. Jun Xiaoyao plucked all 7 strings. The sound waves of the zither turned into destructive sound waves that swept out in all directions. The entire restaurant exploded in an instant. The formation-breaking song was a song that he had casually learned from Agio when he was free. It had a strong offensive power. The sound waves seemed to transform into countless spears that swept out in all directions. Poof, 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 poof. The young elites who had shouted at Jun Xiaoyao earlier were all chopped into pieces by the destructive sound waves. Their blood splattered high into the air. In just a short moment, more than half of the hundreds of young elites had died. Only a small number of sky prides who had not made a sound earlier were spared. As the restaurant exploded, the entire Sword Gate Pass was alarmed. Many sky prides looked in the direction of the restaurant in shock. Who's doing this? Are they tired of living? Don't they know that fighting is prohibited in the city pass? Some of the sky prides from the Emperor Road exclaimed. It didn't matter how much you killed on the Emperor Road. However, once you entered the city pass, you were not allowed to fight as you pleased, let alone kill. If anyone broke the rules, the guard would not let them off easily. Now, someone dared to cause trouble in the Sword Gate Pass. This was no small matter. Many of the sky prides in the Sword Gate Pass began to gather at the restaurant. On the other side, seeing that Jun Xiaoyao had killed more than half of the sky prides so easily, young Master Qin Yun was stunned. It was as if he had been struck by lightning. He was not stupid. How could he not understand Jun Xiaoyao's strength? It was terrifying. Die! Jun Xiaoyao played the zither again. The sound waves turned into a substantial force that charged toward young Master Qin Yun. Young Master Qin Yun shouted. A semi-illusory green, immortal qi appeared on the surface of his body. It was the embryonic form of immortal qi that he had condensed. That's young Master Qin Yun. Who was he fighting? He even used the embryonic form of immortal qi. Some of the sky prides from the Emperor Road who had gathered around were shocked. The immortal qi was one's trump card. Normally, one would not use it casually. Just when everyone thought that the battle was about to reach its climax, in the next moment, everyone was stunned. Young Master Qin Yun, whose cultivation base was at the Boundary Saint Realm and who had summoned the embryonic form of immortal qi, could not even withstand a single sound wave from Jun Xiaoyao. He coughed out mouthfuls of blood. The embryonic form of immortal qi that he had summoned was immediately shattered. Even the ancient sacred weapon that he had summoned exploded. Young Master Qin Yun screamed in despair. Uncle Gu, save me. Young Master. Uncle Gu was also stunned. He did not expect that his young master could not even withstand a single sound wave from the zither. He immediately made his move. The aura of a great perfection boundary saint erupted as he tried to save young Master Qin Yun. However, Jun Xiaoyao's zither strings vibrated. Young Master Qin Yun's body exploded, along with his primordial spirit. A rather famous sky pride from the Emperor Road was killed by a single sound wave from the zither. Everyone was dumbfounded. Around the restaurant, all the sky prides from the Sword Gate Pass were dumbfounded. Could it be that a sky pride from the Barren Sky Saint ranking has returned to the 6th stage? Many sky prides felt as if they had fallen into a dream. It felt extremely surreal. Brat, pay for this with your life. Uncle Gu's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets as he slammed his palm towards Jun Xiaoyao. A great perfection boundary saint is strong enough to fight against some of the sky prides on the Barren Sky Saint ranking. Those who could make it onto the Barren Sky Saint ranking were at least boundary saint experts. Just when everyone thought that Jun Xiaoyao would be severely injured, Jun Xiaoyao only lifted his eyelids slightly as he continued to play the formation-breaking tune. Boom! Uncle Gu's eyes bulged as his temples throbbed. He spat out a mouthful of blood as he was sent flying. Even someone at the great completion of Saint stage was no match for Jun Xiaoyao. At this moment, Mu Yuehan's delicate body was frozen in place like a clay statue. Just who was this young master who was as handsome as a celestial being? Just as Jun Xiaoyao was about to strike again and kill Uncle Gu, a loud roar came from afar. How dare you? This is the Sword Gate Pass. Don't try to kill anyone. A group of soldiers in armor roared as if they were heavenly soldiers. Their voices were thunderous and imposing. You've broken the rules of the Sword Gate Pass. You'll definitely die. Uncle Gu clutched his chest. His eyes were filled with fear as he rejoiced at having survived the ordeal. The young man in front of him was too powerful. It made his hair stand on end. Unfortunately, this was the Sword Gate Pass. No one was allowed to kill anyone. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was calm as he continued to play his Guqin music. At this moment, the leader of the soldiers unleashed his sage cultivation and blocked the attack with his halberd. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes turned cold. How dare you stop the Son of God from killing someone? Do you want to die? Chapter 530. Jun Xiaoyao's cold words reverberated throughout the area. All the Emperor Road Sky Prides and Sword Gate Pass were dumbfounded. Who was this person? How could he be so bold as to threaten the guards? The guard captain's eyes darkened. He said with a murderous tone, "Are you threatening me?" In Emperor Road, there were many talented but unruly Sky Prides who caused trouble in the city and were killed by the guards. This guard captain was once a loser in Emperor Road. In the end, he stayed in Sword Gate Pass and became the guard captain. Therefore, he could not stand the Sky Prides who showed off in Emperor Road. He found them to be an eyesore. Let me tell you, this is Sword Gate Pass. If you're a dragon, you'll have to lie down. If you're a tiger, you'll have to lie down. The guard captain said coldly. Even the immortal forces did not dare to interfere in Emperor Road's affairs. Therefore, he was fearless. He did not have to worry about Jun Xiaoyao's background and identity. Jun Xiaoyao smiled when he heard that. He should be the one saying that. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao smile, the guard captain's eyes flashed with murderous intent. He felt that he had been underestimated. The guard captain said coldly, "Looks like I'll have to teach you a lesson." With that, the guard captain held his spear and unleashed his sage cultivation. He aimed it at Jun Xiaoyao's neck. A cold smile flashed across Uncle Gu's face. Since young Master Qin Yun was dead, this person must not live. No, Mu Yuehan's expression changed. She had witnessed Jun Xiaoyao's strength. He definitely had the combat strength to enter the Barren Sky Saint leaderboard. He was the best person to accompany her to seize the opportunity. If Jun Xiaoyao were to die, her plan would fall through. Faced with the guard spear, Jun Xiaoyao stood with his hands behind his back. He raised his head and said indifferently, "If you don't show yourself, don't blame me, the Son of God, for staining Sword Gate Pass with blood." As soon as he said that, all the Sky Prides in Emperor Road thought that this person was crazy. Staining Sword Gate Pass with blood. Who would dare to say such arrogant words? Even the inheritors of immortal forces and descendants of the Archean royalty would not dare to act recklessly in the Emperor Road's 18th stage. However, at this moment, a cold voice sounded from the void. "You bastard! Stop!" His voice was like a thunderclap that blasted across the entire Sword's Gate fortress. At this moment, all the Emperor Road Sky Prides and Sword Gate Pass were alerted and gathered there. Among them, there were also a few geniuses from the Huangtian mystic realm. When they saw the figure standing with his hands behind his back, they couldn't help but be stunned. They rubbed their eyes, thinking that they were seeing things. Didn't that person already die in the bronze immortal palace in the immortal ancient world? This cold shout blasted apart the heavens, making the stars tremble as if they were about to descend. The might of an honorable. Could it be that person? Many Sky Prides of the Emperor Road were in disbelief. How could such a level of disturbance attract such a big shot? The soldier captain who was in the middle of attacking was stunned by the voice. His hands trembled, and his battle spear fell to the ground. The void above Sword Gate Fortress was torn apart, and a middle-aged man in a black and gold robe appeared. His honorable aura spread out, making the galaxy tremble. Each of the 18 stages of the Emperor Road was guarded by an honorable protector. He was the protector of Sword Gate Fortress, Zhong Hui Honorable. Honorable, honorable protector. The soldier captain's face was as pale as a sheet. He couldn't believe it. Honorable Zhong Hui almost never showed himself. Even when they were killing the inheritors of immortal forces, Honorable Zhong Hui had never shown himself. However, because of this young man's words, Honorable Zhong Hui Honorable had shown himself. The soldier captain had a bad feeling in his heart. He seemed to have offended someone that even the honorable protector did not dare to offend. What's going on? Even the honorable protector has shown himself. What kind of background does this young man have? Some of the ancient Starfield's sky prides who did not know what was going on were shocked. On the other hand, a few of the Huangtian mystic realm's sky prides widened their eyes. At this moment, they were a little confused. Honorable Zhong Hui Honorable's eyelids twitched involuntarily when he saw the otherworldly figure in white. Since when did this ferocious person come to the 6th stage of the Emperor Road? The sky prides on the Emperor Road might not know about the Battle of the Immortals in the Huangtian mystic realm. However, Honorable Zhong Hui Honorable knew about it. 7 immortal forces besieged the Jun family, and in the end, almost all of them were wiped out. Although the young man in front of him did not completely control this battle of the immortals. However, he was the most important force in this battle. Moreover, in addition to the Jiang family and the Jun family, Jun Xiaoyao was also the master of the imperial court. With such a background, talent, and strength, who would dare to offend such a monstrous genius? Even if Honorable Zhong Hui Honorable was the protector of the Emperor Road, he would not dare to offend such a ferocious person with such a strong background. You've finally shown yourself. This son of God thought you would pretend to be dead. Seeing Honorable Zhong Hui Honorable appear, Jun Xiaoyao's tone was cold. There was no sense of reverence when facing Honorable. Instead, it felt like a master teaching a servant a lesson. What kind of background does this young man have? How dare he scold the protector? Mui Wehan was shocked again. The background of this young man in front of her seemed to be more terrifying than she had expected. "Huh, the son of God of the Jun family is here. Your presence brings light to the Sword Gate Pass." Honorable Zhong Hui Honorable bit the bullet and forced a smile. As soon as he said that, the entire Sword Gate Pass fell into dead silence. The few geniuses of the Huangtian mystic realm felt their heads buzzing as they gasped. It's really the son of God of the Jun family. Did he come back from the dead? These geniuses widened their eyes as if they wanted to take a closer look. As for the geniuses from the ancient star zone, they were confused at first. Then, as if they suddenly remembered something, they felt like their heads were about to explode. The son of God of the Jun family. It's the son of God of the Jun family who is invincible among the younger generation of the Huangtian mystic realm. Wasn't it rumored that he died in the Bronze Immortal Palace? How did he survive? After a short moment of confusion, the entire Sword Gate Pass was in an uproar. Everyone was shocked. Mui Wehan felt as if she had been struck by lightning. She felt like she was dreaming. It's the son of God of the Jun family. Mui Wehan was completely stunned. Wasn't this the person she had been thinking about every day? Although Mui Wehan came from the Guanghan Ancient Star Zone, she had heard many stories about Jun Xiaoyao. As time passed, she developed a strong curiosity and fantasy about this legendary son of God whom she had never met before. She even had a wish in her heart, which was to see what this legendary figure looked like with her own eyes. Later, when she heard that Jun Xiaoyao had died in the Bronze Immortal Palace, she was disappointed for a long time. Now, she didn't expect that this legendary figure who she had been thinking about so much would attend her banquet. At this moment, Mui Wehan felt like she was in a dream. She hadn't completely recovered from the shock. She recalled that Jun Xiaoyao had casually asked her to give him a blowjob. If it's the son of God, I can do it. Mui Wehan's face was flushed. Now, not only was she curious about Jun Xiaoyao, she was also curious about Jun Xiaoyao's blowjob. Chapter 531. At this moment, all the Emperor Road geniuses in the Sword Gate Pass were in a state of extreme shock. Needless to say, The geniuses of the Huangtian mystic realm were shocked. Ever since Jun Xiaoyao entered the world, his legends had never stopped. They had heard so much about him that their ears had grown calluses. Even the geniuses of the ancient star field had never seen Jun Xiaoyao in person, but they had heard of Jun Xiaoyao's title as the #1 genius among the younger generation. Now, this legendary figure that only existed in word of mouth had actually appeared in front of them. It was a strange feeling. It was like a dream. However, not everyone felt that way. For example, the captain of the soldiers and Uncle Gu. Their faces were completely drained of blood, and they were as pale as paper. They had never imagined that they had provoked such a terrifying existence. Oh my God! Uncle Gu was in despair. On the other hand, the captain of the soldiers was trembling in fear. But on second thought, he was just following the rules and did not cross the line. Even the son of God of the Jun family could not mess around in the Sword Gate Pass. In the past, there were many geniuses with amazing backgrounds who caused trouble, but nothing happened after he killed them. Supreme martial artist Zhong Hui had never asked about it. This time, Zhong Hui would definitely protect him. In the sky, Zhong Hui forced a smile and said, "I didn't expect the Son of God to have reached the saint stage. It's only a matter of time before he enters the Huangtian saint ranking." What? Supreme Zhong Hui's words stirred up a huge uproar in the surroundings. Jun Xiaoyao was a saint? Mu Yuehan's mouth was wide open. She was extremely shocked. There were many geniuses at the saint stage in the Emperor Road. However, they had all gradually broken through after stepping onto the path of God and obtaining opportunities. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, had obviously just stepped onto the Emperor Road. In other words, Jun Xiaoyao had already broken through to the saint stage before stepping onto the Emperor Road. Since ancient times, no one had ever been able to achieve such speed. Oh my God! Yi Guqin, the reincarnation of the sword demon of the Yi family, Jun Ma Xiao, the ancient freak of the Jun family, and the others stepped onto the path of God and broke through to the saint realm in the shortest time possible. They set a new record and were praised everywhere. Now that I think about it, the son of God of the Jun family broke through earlier than Yi Guqin, Lord Grimm, and the others, right? Not only is his breakthrough fast, but don't forget that the son of God of the Jun family is only 18 years old. The surrounding geniuses were extremely shocked and started whispering to each other. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was indifferent as he said, "Don't change the subject. To tell you the truth, this son of God doesn't like it." These words made the corner of Zhong Hui's eyes twitch again. Sure enough, he couldn't fool her. He lowered his head and glanced at the captain. His voice was emotionless as he said, "Kill yourself." While what? The captain thought he had misheard. Not only did Zhong Hui not protect him, but he also wanted him to kill himself? Lord Protector, I didn't do anything wrong. I was just following the rules. That son of God of the Jun family didn't follow the rules. However, before the captain could finish his words, Zhong Hui pointed his finger downwards. The captain exploded into a cloud of blood and foam. Looking at the bloody remains on the ground, everyone in the surroundings swallowed a mouthful of saliva. No one would have thought that not only did the protector of Imperial Pass not protect his own family, but he also acted so decisively. Zhong Hui was expressionless as he thought to himself, "There is nothing wrong with following the rules, but there are some people who are above the rules." Jun Xiaoyao was the one who could trample on the rules of the Emperor Road. Jun Xiaoyao looked at Uncle Gu again. Uncle Gu's heart turned cold. Zhong Hui pointed his finger again, directly shattering his body in primordial spirit inch by inch. "Son of God, are you satisfied?" Zhong Hui asked. He was really a little afraid that Jun Xiaoyao would continue to pester him, although he was the high and mighty protector of Imperial Pass. But to be honest, without him, there would be other supreme beings who would take over this position. "You can leave." Jun Xiaoyao nodded lightly. He wasn't the kind of person who wouldn't let go. Zhong Hui's methods were also decisive. "In that case, I won't disturb you any longer. I hope the Son of God can go to Emperor Road and become king." Zhong Hui cupped his hands slightly and directly left. He didn't want to stay for even a breath of time. Looking at the protector of Imperial Pass, who was like a grandson, Everyone present was a little embarrassed. Is this the privileged class? I'm in love. You have the powerful background of the June family son of God, and you can also be so arrogant. Many male cultivators were envious. The eyes of some female cultivators glowed brightly. This was the June family son of God, whose name was well known in the Huangtian mystic realm. If they were chosen by him, even if they were just a maid by his side, they would have endless benefits. No one dared to provoke them. For a moment, these female cultivators' eyes were filled with lust. Seeing this, Mui Wahan walked up to Jun Xiaoyao with light steps, blocking the hungry gazes of all the female cultivators. She pursed her lips and smiled. It's Yuehan who failed to recognize Mount Tai and neglected Lord Son of God. It's fine, Jun Xiaoyao said. I guess the Son of God came to the banquet because you're interested in the opportunity. Yuan happens to have a courtyard in Sword Gate Pass. If the Son of God doesn't mind, we can talk about it in detail, Mu Yuehan continued. Sure, Jun Xiaoyao said. Then, Mu Yuehan brought Jun Xiaoyao to her courtyard. Looking at the backs of these two people, the female cultivators secretly ground their teeth. They didn't expect Mu Yuehan to be so scheming. She wanted to monopolize the Jun family son of God. As for the male cultivators, while their hearts were broken, they were also sighing. Mu Yuehan was famous for being cold and aloof. She always kept a distance from men. Prince Qingyun chased Mu Yuehan for a long time, but he couldn't even get within 3 feet of her. In contrast, Mu Yuehan invited Jun Xiaoyao to her private courtyard. This difference in treatment, maybe this is life. If Prince Qingyun knows about this in the underworld, will he be so angry that he can't even reincarnate? Not long after, Mu Yuehan led Jun Xiaoyao to the private courtyard where she was staying. There were pavilions, green pines, and green cypresses. The environment was quiet and beautiful, which suited Mu Yuehan's temperament. After entering the courtyard, only the two of them were left. Mu Yuehan turned around and looked at Jun Xiaoyao. Her face was red. She opened her mouth and said, Lord Son of God, you said you wanted Yuehan to play the flute. Can we continue now? You're still interested? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Of course, but Yuehan's flute was broken just now, so I want to play Lord Son of God's flute. Chapter 532. Mu Yuehan's beautiful eyes were watery as she spoke. This did not match her cold and elegant temperament. It was hard to imagine that the Moon Palace's holy maiden would have such a lustful side to her. This was not a hint, but a clear statement. That was because Jun Xiaoyao was simply too outstanding, and few women could resist his charm. Although Mu Yuehan was the Moon Palace's holy maiden, she was just a small fry compared to Jun Xiaoyao's status. Son of God has already said that you might not be able to accept my size, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. Mu Yuehan was indeed very beautiful. Her arms were white, and her legs were long and slender. She was cold and beautiful like the bright moon. However, Jun Xiaoyao was not a teddy bear who would jump into any hole he saw. To him, things that were easily obtainable were of no interest to him at all. How would you know if you don't try? Moreover, Yuehan has a pure yin body. Mu Yuehan hinted again. Jun Xiaoyao smiled and said, Do you think that Son of God needs your pure yin body to cultivate? Not to mention the pure yin body. Jun Xiaoyao did not even care about the great yin body, which was ranked in the top 50 among the 3,000 body types and was known as the best furnace body type in the world. His cultivation speed was unparalleled. He did not need a furnace to speed up his cultivation. Mu Yuehan was stunned when she heard this. Then, she smiled bitterly and shook her head. Yuehan is too naive. Master Son of God does not need it. For such a young sage, his cultivation speed was already indescribable. His talent was definitely demon level. There was no need for her to do this. All right, let's not talk about this nonsense. Tell me about the opportunity, Jun Xiaoyao said. Yes, Master Son of God. Although Mu Yuehan was a little disappointed, she still responded. She then proceeded to tell Jun Xiaoyao about the fortuitous encounter she had found. In the void millions of miles outside the 9th stage of the Emperor Road, there was a sea of stars. In Emperor Road, Sky Pride accidentally discovered that there seemed to be an ancient nest floating within. Oh, Gu Chao, What kind of gu chow is that? Jun Xiaoyao was curious. It seems to be the Kuan Peng nest. Mu Yuehan's voice carried a hint of passion. The Kuan Peng was an ancient creature that could stand shoulder to shoulder with the true dragon and the divine phoenix. More importantly, the Kuan Peng's grand superpower was comparable to the true dragon, the divine phoenix, and the Thunder Emperor. No wonder. Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly. No wonder Mu Yuehan was so concerned. If it really was a Kuan Peng's nest, then it would definitely be a place of great opportunity of fortune. It would definitely attract many sky prides from Emperor Road. Yuhan got the news about the Kuan Peng's nest through some channels, and the news has already spread. At that time, there will probably be many geniuses there. There might even be geniuses on the Barren Sky Saint rank. Therefore, it will be difficult for Yuhan to obtain any opportunity of fortune alone, Mu Yuehan said honestly. I understand. It doesn't matter. However, it's at the 9th stage of the Emperor Road. It will take us a long time to get there, Jun Xiaoyao said with a frown. The Emperor Road was a long road. Even at the fastest speed, it would take several months or even half a year to get from the 6th stage to the 9th stage. That's not a problem. I heard that the Kuan Peng's nest is still sealed and has not been fully opened. We have enough time to get there, Mu Yuehan said. All right then, let's get ready and get on our way, Jun Xiaoyao said casually. An opportunity of fortune of this level would definitely attract the attention of many. When the time came, there would definitely be conflicts. Ordinary sky prides would definitely make all kinds of preparations in advance. However, Jun Xiaoyao's tone was calm, without a trace of worry. This was the aloofness that came with an invincible heart of Tao. As expected of the Son of God, Jun Xiaoyao's indifferent attitude and invincible spirit made Mu Yuehan's heart melt. By the way, do you have a place to take a bath here? Jun Xiaoyao suddenly asked. Ever since he stepped onto the Emperor Road, he had been cultivating and rushing along. He had not stopped to relax for a moment, let alone take a bath. Although Jun Xiaoyao's body was fragrant and flawless, there was no way he would get dirty. Of course there is, Mu Yuehan said. She brought Jun Xiaoyao to her private spirit spring. At the same time, she consciously took on the task of serving him. Jun Xiaoyao did not refuse. It was nice to have someone serving him. Jun Xiaoyao's body was well-proportioned. His body was flawless and even exuded a faint fragrance. It was more harmonious and beautiful than many women's bodies. Mu Yuehan was stunned. At the same time, she subconsciously looked down. She took a deep breath. Her beautiful eyes were filled with extreme shock. Lord Son of God is indeed honest. Mu Yuehan blushed and her heart raced. That was indeed not something an ordinary woman could accept. Just as Jun Xiaoyao rested and was about to continue on his journey. At the 11th stage of the Emperor Road, a majestic mansion was illuminated by a golden Buddhist light, making the entire mansion look like a pure land in the mortal world. When the surrounding sky prides passed by and saw this mansion, their eyes were filled with fear and dread. This mansion was the mansion of the ancient freak of Little Western Paradise, Jade Fozzie. Jade Fozzie was a dazzling figure on the Emperor Road. He was an ancient freak of Little Western Paradise. He had the Bodhi Buddha heart and was sealed for many years. As soon as he was born, he forcefully subdued the first daughter of Mahamayuri. After he stepped onto the Emperor Road, Jade Fozzie found an ancient relic of an ancient monk and obtained an ancient and powerful Sarira. His cultivation level skyrocketed, and he directly broke through to the Saint realm. He became famous on the Emperor Road and entered the Barren Sky Saint ranking. In other words, Jade Fozzie was one of the most dazzling sky prides on the Emperor Road. Many people thought he could easily reach the end of the Barren Sky Emperor Road and set foot on the ultimate ancient road to compete with the other sky prides of the 9 heavens immortal realm. However, compared to Jade Fozzie's brilliance, he was equally intimidating. Some people called Jade Fozzie a smiling tiger in private. The reason being that Jade Fozzie always had his eyes squinted and a gentle smile on his face no matter what. Even though he did not kill, he had mastered a terrifying, purifying art that could control people's thoughts. It was terrifying. Being controlled by someone was worse than death. Some people saw someone sweeping the leaves on the ground in front of Jade Fosey's mansion. Heavens, it's Gu Jianxin, ranked 86th on the Barren Sky Saint ranking. He was purified by Jade Fosey after he offended him. How terrifying. Many sky prides kept a respectful distance from Jade Fosey. Meanwhile, deep inside the mansion, there was a magnificent hall. Inside the temple, Jade Fosey, dressed in a jade-white robe, was sitting cross-legged on a strange beast. Jade Fosey had a slender figure and a handsome face. His long hair cascaded down his back, making him look gentle like a piece of jade. He always had his eyes squinted and a smile on his face, just like the legendary Buddha in the Little Western Paradise. The strange beast he was sitting on was none other than the nine-headed lion. Chapter 533. Damn it, you hairy bald donkey. Kill me if you dare. The nine-headed lion roared. Golden light flowed all over its body as it unleashed its cultivation, trying to push Jade Fosey away. However, Jade Fosey sat calmly, suppressing the nine-headed lion. You have an affinity with the Buddha. It would be best for you to become my mount. Jade Fosey was still smiling. He was not angry at all. Affinity my ass. I only have one master, and that is the son of God of the June family. Who do you think you are? The nine-headed lion roared nonstop. Previously, when the Emperor Road opened, the nine-headed lion had also stepped onto the Emperor Road with the June family, Yu, Yin Qinying, and the others. Then, they went their separate ways to find their own opportunities. Later, when news of the ancient High Monk's relic spread, the nine-headed lion wanted to try its luck. After all, the nine-headed lion's ancestors had a deep connection with Buddhism. It might be able to find some opportunities there. Who would have thought that it would run into someone as powerful as Jade Fosey? Jade Fosey wanted to make the nine-headed lion his mount, but the nine-headed lion was not happy about it. The two fought. What shocked the nine-headed lion was that Jade Fosey's strength was too terrifying, as expected of an ancient freak from the Little Western Paradise. The nine-headed lion could not withstand it at all and was immediately suppressed. After that, the nine-headed lion tried to resist, but it could not escape. I am being merciful by not converting you. I hope you know what's good for you. Jade Fosey was still calm. When my master comes to the Emperor Road, you will die, the nine-headed lion roared. Hearing this, Jade Fosey narrowed his eyes and said calmly, the son of God of the June family that you speak of has already died in the bronze immortal palace. He killed the Little Western Paradise's Bodhisattva and Lady Bodhisattva. His karma is too deep, and now he has died. This is karma. My master is invincible. He is the most powerful person among the younger generation. He will never die, the nine-headed lion retorted. Huh? Jade Fosey shook his head slightly. Then, as if he had thought of something, he said Kong Xian. As soon as he said that, a beautiful woman wearing a sapphire blue peacock dress walked in. Her hair was tied up with a peacock hairpin, and there seemed to be a nine-color divine light flickering behind her. She could vaguely see a nine-colored immortal chi circling her body. This beautiful lady was very powerful. Her cultivation had reached the small perfection of the pre-saint realm. She was also a top genius on the Barren Sky Saint ranking. She was none other than Mama Yuri's daughter, Kong Xian. As soon as she was born, she was subdued by Jade Fosey and became his follower. Arhut, Kong Xian bowed respectfully. There was respect and admiration in her eyes. She wasn't converted by Jade Buddha Child. Instead, she willingly submitted to him and became his follower. Previously, there was news that a Kuan Peng nest had appeared at the 9th stage of the Emperor Road. You should make a trip there. Who knows? You might be able to obtain some treasures. Perhaps you might even be able to learn the Kuan Peng Great Mystique, Yu Fuzi said calmly. Yes, then you. Kong Xian paused. Outside the 12th stage of the Emperor Road, the Infernal Star is about to open. I need to make some preparations to obtain Immortal Essence and condense a second strand of Immortal Chi, Jade Buddha Child said calmly. What? Arhut is about to condense a second strand of Immortal Chi? Hearing this, Kong Xian's beautiful eyes widened in shock. In the Emperor Road, condensing a strand of Immortal Chi was enough to make one a small powerhouse. Now, Jade Buddha Child was about to condense a second strand of immortal chi. If he succeeded, then Jade Buddha Child would definitely become the top genius of the Emperor Road. Congratulations, Arhut. Once you condense a second strand of immortal chi, you will be able to reach first place on the Barren Sky Saint ranking. Kong Xian's eyes were filled with enthusiasm. It's still too early to say that. You should go first. Jade Buddha Child waved his hand. Yes, Arhut. Kong Xian will definitely obtain the Kuan Peng Great Mystique for Arhut. Kong Xian vowed and left. He's about to condense a second strand of immortal chi. The nine-headed lion was also feeling depressed. It seemed like it would never have the chance to be free again. At the same time, in the vast starry sky outside the 12th stage of the Emperor Road, a green-robed swordsman was walking in the void. His footwork was very mysterious. Spatial runes flowed under his feet. The long distance seemed to have shortened significantly under his feet. It was as if he was teleporting into the void. Some of the sky prides who were traveling on the ancient starry sky road were shocked when they saw the fleeting figure. That's the Void Swordsman. It seems like he's also heading to the hell planet of the 12th stage of the Emperor Road. I heard that the Void Swordsman specializes in the spatial sword Dao. He tried to challenge Yi Guqin, the first place on the Barren Sky Saint ranking. In the end, he was defeated by Yi Guqin with a single strike. He was lucky enough to escape. The Sky Prides were discussing. The Void Swordsman was a top-notch Sky Pride, ranked in the top 10 of the Barren Sky Saint ranking. His sword Dao cultivation was earth-shattering. Not only that, but he also had the Void Celestial Body, which allowed him to control a strange spatial mystique. Previously, he used his sword Dao to challenge the reincarnation of the sword demon, Yi Guqin. In the end, he was defeated with a single strike. It was a humiliation that the Void Swordsman could not erase. Just as the Sky Prides were discussing, suddenly, a cold voice came from behind them. Say that again. The Sky Prides turned around and were shocked to see the Void Swordsman. Slash! The space trembled as sword chi gushed out. The Sky Prides were beheaded in an instant. Even their primordial spirits were shattered. The Void Swordsman looked indifferent after casually killing the Sky Prides who talked nonsense. When I go to the Hell Planet and condense the second strand of immortal chi, I'll challenge Yi Guqin again and wash away my humiliation. The Void Swordsman gritted his teeth. Besides, if I can find the other half of the spacebook, I'm confident that I can defeat Yi Guqin. The Void Swordsman shook his head slightly. He was the owner of the other half of the spacebook. By the way, I heard that a Kunpeng's nest appeared at the 9th stage of the Emperor Road. Although my true body can't go there, but... The Void Swordsman paused. Behind him, the space trembled. A figure that looked exactly like him, but with a weaker aura appeared. It was a spiritual body that he had cultivated for a long time. This spiritual body rushed to the 9th stage of the Emperor Road in a flash. The Void Swordsman's true body rushed to the 12th stage of the Emperor Road. After resting for a few days in the Sword Gate Pass, Jun Xiaoyao and Mui Wehan set off together. Mui Wehan only brought Jun Xiaoyao with her. There was no need to team up with anyone else. Jun Xiaoyao alone could take on thousands of soldiers and horses. During this time, Mui Wehan was also curious. She could not help but ask, Lord Son of God, how many strands of immortal chi have you condensed? Jun Xiaoyao lifted his eyelids slightly and said, not many. With his unparalleled talent, 3 strands of immortal chi were indeed not many. However, the Emperor Road had just begun. Jun Xiaoyao believed that he could condense even more immortal chi in the future. Is that so? Mui Wehan nodded slightly. She knew better than to ask any more questions. It's already very impressive that Lord Son of God could reach the Saint Realm at such a young age. If he can condense immortal chi, it will be difficult for him. Mui Wehan thought to herself. She felt that Jun Xiaoyao might be so focused on breaking through to the next stage that he did not have extra energy to condense immortal chi. If she knew that Jun Xiaoyao had already condensed 3 strands of immortal chi, she would be shocked. Mui Wehan would probably start to doubt her life. Chapter 534. Jun Xiaoyao and Mui Weihan started their journey from the Sword Gate Pass, the sixth stage of the Emperor Road, and continued on the ancient path of stars. Along the way, Mui Weihan finally got to see just how ferocious Jun Xiaoyao really was. Along the way, there were no threats, space bandits, other sky prides, and all sorts of dangerous places. Jun Xiaoyao pushed forward with one hand. No obstacles could stop him from moving forward. Even when they encountered some powerful sky prides who wanted to fight, Jun Xiaoyao killed them all with one move. He never used a second move. Mui Weihan admired him. She then thought of Yi Guqin, the reincarnation of the sword demon who was ranked first on the Barren Sky Saint leaderboard. She heard that he was also the same. He only used one sword move against his enemies. One of them only used one sword move, while the other only used one move. If the two of them clashed, how intense would the battle be? Who would win in the end? Mui Weihan was suddenly curious. With Jun Xiaoyao around, they had no obstacles at all. Mui Weihan even took out a starry sky flying ship. It could cross the void at an extremely fast speed. Even so, it took them almost half a year to finally reach the ninth stage of the Emperor Road. This stage was called the Jade Gate Pass. However, Jun Xiaoyao and Mui Weihan did not plan to enter the Jade Gate Pass. Instead, they headed straight for the boundless starry sky outside the Jade Gate Pass. That was because the Kuan Peng Nest was located in a sea of stars. At the same time, outside the Jade Gate Pass, in a void millions of miles away, a vast Milky Way sea was laid out in the middle. As far as the eye could see, it was even vaster than some of the vast oceans in the immortal region. One star after another floated up and down like reefs in the sea. A person standing in front of the sea of stars was no bigger than a grain of sand. Originally, this starry sea was a dangerous place. If one was accidentally sucked into it, not only would they lose their way, but they could also be sucked into various vortexes, broken formations, and spatial cracks and die. However, during this period of time, this sea of stars that was rarely visited by humans had become extremely lively. Every moment, more and more geniuses would gather. At a rough glance, there were at least 1,000 sky prides gathered outside the Milky Way. Those who could make it to the ninth stage of the Emperor Road were all dragons and phoenixes among men. All of them were capable. At this moment, all of the sky prides from the Emperor Road were looking at the depths of the Milky Way sea with a burning passion. One could vaguely see a black layer that was suffused with an ancient and desolate aura located in the deepest part of the Sea of Stars. The black layer was extremely magnificent, like an ancient demonic mountain, emitting a desolate aura. It was the Kunping Nest. However, at this moment, the Kunping Nest was closed. One could faintly see cracks spreading on the surface of the Kunping Nest. In the Sea of Stars, meteorites would occasionally move and crash into the surface of the Kunping Nest, causing the crack to widen. It seems that the rock nest will open soon. Many geniuses were excited. This was a rare opportunity. What do you think will be inside? Ancient sacred weapons, supreme weapons, immortal sacred pills, or Kunping true blood? Some of the sky prides were excited. I only hope to obtain the Kunpeng's grand superpower. This way, I will be more confident of reaching the end of the Emperor Road and embarking on the ancient ultimate road. Some of the sky prides were discussing heatedly. Of course, many of them were wary. The atmosphere was relatively calm now. When the Kunpeng Nest opened, it would be a bloody expedition. After all, there were only so many opportunities. It was impossible for everyone to get them. At this moment, many of the sky prides heard the sound of waves. Some of them looked in the direction of the sound and saw a huge wave sweeping over from the distant starry sky. This was unbelievable. They were in the universe, but there were waves sweeping over. Could it be that he is here? Some of the sky prides immediately thought of the famous sky prides on the Huangtian Saint ranking, the third prince of the sea god. This was a small powerhouse from the sea god ancient star zone. Although he was a sky pride from the ancient star zone, his talent was extremely demonic. He was no weaker than the descendants of the Huangtian immortal forces. It was rumored that he had an extremely ancient bloodline of the sea god. He was on the saint ranking and no one dared to offend him. Two figures appeared on the huge wave. They were two young men with extraordinary auras. One of them had fish scales covering his skin. The other had tentacle-like dharma power behind him. It's not the third prince of the sea god. It's his two followers, Lord Churning River and Lord Nauhai, said one of the sky prides. The young man with fish scales on his skin was Lord Churning River. He looked around coldly and said, "The Kunpung's grand superpower is extremely important to the crown prince. We must get it. Of course, if the third prince obtains the Kunpung's grand superpower, he will be like a tiger that has grown wings. He might even be able to cultivate a second strand of deity chi," said Lord Nauhai. The third prince of the sea god was not the only one attracted by the Kunpung nest. In another direction, there was the sound of wind breaking. Golden light shone brightly as a golden-winged rock flew across the sky. The golden-winged rock flashed and turned into human form. He was handsome and had long golden hair. The gaze in his eyes was as sharp as a heavenly blade. If Jun Xiaoyao was here, he would definitely recognize that it was an old acquaintance, Golden-Winged Rock. It's Golden-Winged Rock. He's here too. Many sky prides were wary. Golden-Winged Rock was one of the more tragic sky prides. He had been defeated by Jun Xiaoyao one after another. When Golden-Winged Rock saw Jun Xiaoyao at the immortal ancient Dao Lake, he did not even have the will to fight and ran away immediately. However, after hearing that Jun Xiaoyao had died in the Bronze Divine Palace, Golden-Winged Rock felt relieved. He felt that the haze had dissipated. His Dao heart had recovered, and he was in a very good state. He felt that his invincible self had returned. The darkness has passed. I have to focus on the future. When I obtain the Kunping superpower, I will definitely be able to reach the top 10 of the Barren Sky Saint ranking. Golden-Winged Rock's eyes shone with confidence. Jun Xiaoyao's era had passed. Only the living sky prides had the right to talk about the future. Golden-Winged Rock's original form is a golden-winged rock. If he can obtain the Kunpeng's superpower, he will definitely be like a tiger that has grown wings. Some of the sky prides' eyes glinted. They did not want another powerful sky pride to appear on the Emperor Road. The resources in this Kunpeng nest belonged to Master Arhut. At that moment, a female voice was heard. In the distant starry sky, a 9-colored divine light flashed. A beautiful woman in a sapphire blue peacock dress flew across the void. Divine light radiated from her body as she emitted a powerful aura. It's Kong Xian, Jade Arhut's follower. Many of the sky prides on the Emperor Road were wary. Jade Arhut was one of the people on the Emperor Road that no one dared to offend. Golden-Winged Rock's eyes glinted when he saw Kong Xian's arrival. However, Golden-Winged Rock was displeased when he heard what she said. He frowned slightly and said, "Kong Xian, what kind of magic potion did Jade Arhut feed you? Why are you so loyal to him?" There was a hint of jealousy in his tone. The Golden-Winged Rock tribe and Mahamayuri's tribe had been on good terms for generations. Golden-Winged Rock knew Kong Xian as well. He even had a good impression of Kong Xian. Unfortunately, Kong Xian was a fanatical follower of Jade Arhut. This made Golden-Winged Rock extremely hostile towards Jade Arhut. Master Arhut's strength is not something you can understand. Kong Xian looked at Golden-Winged Rock with a hint of disdain in her beautiful eyes. "You," Golden-Winged Rock frowned. Once I obtain the Kunping superpower and raise my cultivation base, I will definitely go and meet that Jade Arhut." Golden-Winged Rock snorted. "Master Arhut is invincible. You won't stand a chance." Kong Xian shook her head. Chapter 535. Kong Xian idolized Jade Fozhi almost blindly. In her eyes, Jade Fozhi was one of the top sky prides on the Emperor Road. He was destined to step onto the ultimate ancient road. Golden-Winged Rock was not pleased to see Kong Xian's idolization. However, he had to admit that Jade Fozhi was powerful. Golden-Winged Rock was not even qualified to fight Jade Fozhi if he could not obtain the Kunpeng Mystique or the Kunpeng Blood Essence. It was because of this that the golden-winged little Rock King's eyes flashed with determination. He could not miss the opportunity of obtaining the Kunpeng nest. While they were waiting, Another figure tore through the void and arrived. It was a green-robed swordsman with a long sword on his back. He looked indifferent as he tore through the void and arrived. When he appeared, the surrounding space vibrated and streaks of sword chi gathered in the void. The surrounding sky prides were unable to dodge in time and were directly smashed into clouds of blood mist. It's the sword son of the void. He's here too. The green-robed swordsman was the sword son of the void, or rather, the sword son of the void's spiritual body. However, even if it was just a spiritual body, it was undefeatable to the sky prides present. After all, he was ranked in the top 10 on the Barren Sky Saint ranking. Sword Son of the Void, Golden Winged Rock, Kong Xian, and the others were also shocked to see the Sword Son of the Void. However, they were relieved when they sensed the Sword Son of the Void's cultivation level. It was obvious that it was just a spiritual body. However, they did not let down their guard. The Sword Son of the Void came from the heavenly void, ancient starfield. Surprisingly, he did not have any immortal faction or supreme orthodoxy behind him. He only had one master. However, his master was the most powerful person in the heavenly void, ancient starfield. He was called the Sword Master of the Void. Not only was the Sword Master of the Void the most powerful person in the heavenly void, ancient starfield, but he was also famous in many ancient starfields. That was why, even though the Sword Son of the Void did not have any faction behind him, the descendants of ordinary immortal factions did not dare to underestimate him. I must obtain this Kuenping nest. The Sword Son of the Void placed his hands behind his back. Although it was just a spiritual body, he still had a peerless aura. It seems that the opportunity of obtaining the Kuenping nest will not be easy. Golden Winged Rock felt pressured. Whoosh! At this moment, a starry sky flying ship suddenly tore through the sky, attracting the attention of many people. Who's that? Some sky prides of the void, ancient starfield muttered. A beautiful woman dressed in a moon-white muslin dress walked out from within. Her fine black hair fluttered in the wind, and her appearance was flawless. She carried a coldness like moonlight. It was Muyuehan. It's the moon fairy to be. Many sky prides' eyes lit up when they saw Muyuehan. She was a famous beauty on Emperor Road. Her strength was extraordinary, and her looks were outstanding. And many sky prides, and of the. However, there was one bad thing about Muyuehan, which was that she was too cold. Most men would have a hard time getting close to her. Whose is she? Oh, it's the moon fairy. The third prince has invited you to walk the Emperor Road with him many times, but you did not respond. Do you have an answer now? The two followers of the sea god's third prince, Lord Churning River and Lord Nauhai, asked when they saw Muyuehan. Muyuehan's eyes flashed with annoyance when she heard this. The sea god's third prince had taken a liking to her and wanted to invite her to walk the Emperor Road. His words were nice, but to put it bluntly, he just wanted her body. He wanted to use her pure body to cultivate and speed up his cultivation. Muyuehan naturally did not agree, so she delayed it. Now that she had met Jun Xiaoyao, it was even more impossible for Muyuehan to have anything to do with the sea god's third prince. Compared to Jun Xiaoyao, the sea god's third prince who was on the saint leaderboard was nothing. Tell the third prince to stop dreaming. Muyuehan's voice was cold as she said indifferently, "All right, I just hope you won't regret it," and begged the third prince to take you in. Lord Churning River sneered. Muyuehan was amused. She would regret it? It would be insane of him to go to the third crown prince instead of Jun Xiaoyao, who was a big shot. Please don't mind her. Muyuehan is arrogant and self-righteous. She doesn't like anyone. A sarcastic female voice was heard. Muyuehan frowned. Not far away, two figures flew over. The one who spoke was a beautiful woman in a jade green dress. It's the saintess of the Black Yuan Ancient Star System's Jade Sky Sect, Su Biyu, one of the Sky Prides said. She was also a proud woman with a good reputation for her beauty. When the woman called Su Biyu saw Muyuehan, her eyes flashed with jealousy and hatred. The Black Yuan Ancient Star System and Guanghan Ancient Star System were neighbors. As the saintess of the Jade Sky Sect, she was often compared to Muyuehan. But in front of Muyuehan, she was just a leaf. As time passed, Su Biyu became jealous of Mu Yuehan and even wanted to get rid of her. Mu Yuehan's expression was calm when she saw Su Biyu. However, Mu Yuehan's eyes narrowed when she saw the person beside her. It was a silent and majestic being. His body shone with a metallic luster, and he didn't have any aura of life. He looked like a stone statue. However, this living being made many Heaven's favorites stare at him and gasp in shock. Could that be the Hep Metal Rock Spirit? It's true. Rumor has it that he's a divine metal rock spirit and is very powerful. Many Sky Prides were wary when they saw the Hep Metal Rock Spirit. A divine metal that had a divine metal rock spirit was extremely talented and had a bright future. A true greater success divine metal rock spirit was comparable to emperors and ancient emperors. You actually found an ally of the Hep Metal Rock Spirit? Mu Yuehan was surprised. So Mu Yuehan, you have to be careful. But why don't I see your ally? Su Biyu sneered. In her opinion, she would definitely benefit from the Kuin Peng nest since she had the Hep Metal Rock Spirit on her side. She might even be able to get rid of Mu Yuehan, who was an eyesore. The Hep Metal Rock Spirit turned to look at the galactic flying ship and snorted. Coward! As soon as he said that, a sharp beam of Hep Metal shot out toward Mu Yuehan and the galactic flying ship. Mu Yuehan's expression changed. However, the Hep Metal Rock Spirit disappeared as soon as it got within 10 feet of the galactic flying ship. The Hep Metal Rock Spirit's eyes lit up. Many Sky Prides around were also surprised. Does Fairy Yuehan also have a powerful ally? Some Sky Prides were curious. At that moment, a calm voice came from a galactic flying ship. The Hep Metal Rock Spirit. Not bad. I can refine it into my life artifact. Everyone fell silent when they heard that voice. What did they just hear? Someone actually dared to use the Hep Metal Rock Spirit as a refining material? Chapter 536. The Gungjin Rock Spirit was a powerful prodigy on the Barren Sky Saint ranking. Since it was made of divine metal, its body was invulnerable and had a great advantage. Even a prodigy who had condensed a strand of divine chi would find it difficult to deal with the Gungjin Rock Spirit. But now, the calm voice in the starship wanted to use the Gungjin Rock Spirit as a material for crafting weapons. This was a blatant show of contempt. Although the Gungjin Rock Spirit was an extremely rare metal, who would dare to use it as a material for crafting weapons? All the prodigies present found this unbelievable. Some of them even laughed out loud, thinking that this was ridiculous. Kong Xian shook her head, her eyes filled with mockery. She mumbled, if the Arhut said this, it might be possible. This person is too naive. Although Kong Xian was a prodigy of the Barren Sky mystic realm, she only appeared after Jun Xiaoyao disappeared from the Bronze Divine Palace. Therefore, she had never seen Jun Xiaoyao before and had never heard his voice. At most, she only knew his name. Su Biyu couldn't help but laugh. Haha, Mu Yuehan, your ally is too ignorant. How could he say something so ridiculous? You are the ignorant ones. Mu Yuehan's eyes were cold. If they knew who was sitting in the starry sky flying ship, would they still be able to laugh? The only one who didn't laugh was the golden-winged rock. When he heard the calm voice, the golden-winged rock's entire body froze and his feathers stood on end. This voice had sounded in countless nightmares. To him, it was like a nightmare. No, I must have heard wrong. It can't be that person. The golden-winged rock's back was covered in cold sweat as he comforted himself. That person is already in the past. It can't be him. Maybe it's just the voice. The golden-winged rock took a deep breath and calmed himself down. This is just my inner demon causing trouble. I can't let it grow again. The golden-winged rock calmed himself down. He felt that it was probably the remnants of his inner demons that caused him to mishear and think that it was that person's voice. When the Gungjin Stone Spirit heard this, a murderous glint flashed in its eyes. His original body was a rare divine metal, and what he hated the most was being used as a refining material by others. You're courting death. The Gungjin Rock Spirit raised its hand, and the sharp Gungjin Chi transformed into a 300-meter-long sword that was about to slash out. But it was also at this moment that in the depths of the vast sea of stars, The pitch-black Kuan Pung nest suddenly emitted an earth-shaking roar. Huge cracks began to spread on its surface. Dazzling golden light leaked out along with many complicated Tao inscriptions. It was as if a supreme divine land was about to open. The Kuan Ping nest is about to open. Charge. If there really is a Kuan Pung divine ability, I must get it. The thousands of Emperor Road sky prides on the scene were envious. The Kuan Ping nest was definitely one of the rare great opportunities on the Emperor Road. If they could get their hands on the Kuan Pung True Blood and the Kuan Pung Divine Ability, they would undoubtedly be qualified to make it to the Desolate Sky Saint ranking. None of the sky prides on the scene could remain calm. I'll let you live a little longer. The Gungjin Rock Spirit retracted its hand. Compared to killing this annoying fellow, the Kuan Ping nest was more important. Almost all the sky prides on the scene rushed into the Sea of Stars at the same time. There were many dangers in the Sea of Stars. There were all kinds of strange spatial cracks and void vortexes that swallowed sky prides one after another, and they did not even have time to scream. But this did not stop the sky prides from entering the Kuan Ping nest. Duke Fanjiang, Duke Chaohai, Golden Winged Rock, Kong Xian, the Void Sword Master, the Gungjin Rock Spirit, Su Biu, and other sky prides also rushed into the Sea of Stars. In just a few breaths' time, only Mui Wehan and Jun Xiaoyao had not entered the Sea of Stars. Lord Son of God, shouldn't we hurry over? Mui Wehan asked. She was not worried with Jun Xiaoyao around, but when she saw the other sky prides rushing towards the Kuan Ping nest, she could not help but feel anxious. Don't be anxious. Do you think the treasures in the Kuan Ping nest will be so easy to obtain? Jun Xiaoyao walked out of the spaceship slowly. His eyes were deep like the starry sky as he looked at the Kuan Ping nest. Jun Xiaoyao could sense that there seemed to be some interesting creatures in the Kuan Ping nest. It would not be easy for those sky prides to obtain the treasures in the Kuan Ping nest. With Lord Son of God around, I'm not worried. Mui Wehan smiled. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao's confident look, she was not worried at all. Let's go. Jun Xiaoyao walked leisurely and entered the Sea of Stars with Mui Wehan. About half an hour passed. The sky prides who entered the Sea of Stars first gradually approached the Kuan Ping nest. Looking around, the cracked Kuan Ping nest was filled with golden light. It carried an ancient, desolate, and sacred aura, which made the eyes of all the sky prides brighten. The Void Swordsman's body shook, and mysterious space runes flowed under his feet. His body flashed and entered the Kuan Ping nest. River-churning Marquis and Marquis Chaohai also had rune waves under their feet, which carried them in. Kong Xian, Golden Winged Rock, Gungjin Rock Spirit, Su Biu, and other sky prides did not want to fall behind and squeezed in. The other sky prides swarmed in as well. 15 minutes later, Jun Xiaoyao and Mui Wehan arrived in front of the Kuan Ping nest. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao stopped in his tracks. What's wrong, Lord Son of God? Mui Wehan was confused. Jun Xiaoyao did not say a word. His body flashed around the Kuan Ping nest. Vaguely, strands of formation runes appeared in the void, carrying with them a sealing force. Mui Wehan was confused at first, but after feeling the sealing power, her beautiful eyes widened in disbelief. No way, no way. The Son of God of the Jun family can't be so cruel. Can he? Jun Xiaoyao returned to where he was moments later with a casual smirk on his face. Let's go in. Jun Xiaoyao flashed in, looking at Jun Xiaoyao's back, who stood with his hands behind his back and strolled leisurely. Mui Wehan could not help but pray for the sky prides who entered the Kuan Ping nest. Jun Xiaoyao, the fisherman, wanted to catch all the fish. Inside the Kuan Ping nest, the sky prides felt a dense spiritual chi as soon as they entered. Even if there were no treasures inside, just cultivating in the Kuan Ping nest alone would benefit them greatly. This is a sage-level herb. There are also many sage-level herbs. That's a pool of spiritual liquid. The sky prides who entered the Kuan Ping nest were all wide-eyed when they saw the spiritual herbs, spiritual liquid, and spiritual liquid everywhere. Then they began to search frantically. On the other hand, Golden Winged Rock, the Void Sword Master, and the others did not show much emotion when they saw these things. Although the sage-level spiritual liquid was precious, it was nothing in their eyes. Where are the treasures of the Kunping nest? Golden-winged rock pondered. Suddenly, a sky pride pushed open an ancient stone door in front of them. Then, a vast sound was heard, attracting the attention of all the sky prides. That is, Chapter 537. Many sky prides turned to look. Behind the stone door was a vast and boundless ocean. It was not the starry ocean outside the Kunping's nest, but a real ocean. Could this be a mini-world? Only the primordial Kunping could do something like this, forming a mini-world and creating a cave. This was a technique that only a top-notch expert could do. In the eyes of these Emperor Road sky prides, this was an unimaginable technique. Charge! None of the sky prides hesitated. Compared to the opportunities before them, the real opportunity of the Kunping should be hidden in that mini-world. All the sky prides entered it. Not long after, the sky prides saw a black island in the depths of the mini-world. On the island, there was a golden lair that was spewing out rays of light. That's the real Kunping's nest. It might contain the Kunping's true blood and the supreme Kunping's superpower. Seeing the golden lair, all the sky prides could not remain calm and swarmed over. On the other hand, the Void Sword Master, Kong Xian, Golden Winged Rock, Gungjin Rock Spirit, and the others had a hint of doubt in their eyes. At this time, some of the sky prides had already reached the Black Island. However, not long after, something strange happened. Some of the sky prides had mysteriously disappeared. What's going on? There's something strange about this island. These sky prides had already sensed that something was wrong before they even got close to the golden lair. In the distance, the Void Sword Master's eyes flashed when he saw this. What a bunch of tricks! The Void Sword Master raised his hand, and the long sword on his back soared into the sky. He slashed out a powerful spatial sword ray and landed on the Black Island. Boom! Accompanied by a violent tremor, the island actually began to tremble. At the same time, a dull roar was heard. What's going on? Is this island a spirit? No, this is not an island. Some of the sky prides realized what was going on. The space around the Black Island was distorted. Finally, what appeared before everyone's eyes was a clam beast the size of a small island. That's the primordial mutated beast clam. Marquis River Churning and Marquis Nauhai were shocked. They came from the Sea King ancient star field, which was almost entirely covered by the sea. Therefore, they had a deep understanding of all kinds of sea-type, ferocious beasts and could recognize them at a glance. The clam in front of him was, without a doubt, the legendary Chi. There was an idiom called a mirage, which was used to describe this type of demonic beast. The sea serpent would spit out clouds and mist to create illusions to confuse cultivators. Although the Hui in front of him was not a pure-blooded primordial Hui, it still possessed part of the Hui's bloodline. More importantly, all the sky prides could sense that the Chi's aura had reached the great perfection stage of the sage stage. This was no longer something that a single genius could deal with. The Chi suddenly opened its closed carapace. Instantly, vortexes appeared one after another. A terrifying suction force erupted, sucking in some of the sky prides. The small number of sky prides who had disappeared previously were secretly swept into the vortex. Aran, this venomous Ho is invincible. Most of the sky prides present were in the Tao God realm. Only a few sky prides were sage to be. They did not even have a true sage. How could they fight against this Chi at the great perfection stage of the sage stage? In the sky, the Void Swordsman once again slashed out with his sword. The powerful fluctuations were shocking. Floating sword technique. The Void Swordsman slashed down with his sword. The space in front of him was split in half. However, when the sword Chi landed on the Chi's carapace, it only created some sparks. Damn it! The Void Swordsman's eyes darkened. If my original body was here, I would not be afraid of this evil beast. The Void Swordsman was unwilling to give up. He had only sent a spiritual body. Although it had some combat power, it could not be compared to his original body. Kong Xian also attacked. 9-color divine light shot out from her jade-like hand, forming 9 light pillars that shot out. The golden-winged little rock king also spread his wings. His feathers fell off like golden flying swords, making clanging sounds. His 108,000 sword feathers slashed down at the same time, creating intense sparks as they collided. Marquis Jiang Fan, Marquis Naohai, Gungjin Shirling, Su Biyu, and the others also attacked. However, they could not hurt the Qi at all. On the contrary, the Emperor Road's Sky Prides began to suffer more casualties. 200 to 300 Sky Prides had already been swallowed by the Qi. If this goes on, we will all die before we find the real Kunping nest, Su Biyu said unwillingly. It was not easy for her to rope in the Gungjin Shirling to come and explore the Kunping nest together. She would not be satisfied if she failed and retreated just like that. We can only attack together now. Let's kill this Qi first, then fight for it with our own abilities. Kong Xian shouted. That's right. Let's work together and kill this evil beast first. There are so many of us. Why should we be afraid of it? The other Emperor Road Sky Pride shouted. Then, all the Sky Prides joined forces. Various techniques were combined and turned into a rolling torrent that blasted toward the Qi. The Qi's carapace was colorful and glowing with divine light. The aura of a sage at great perfection caused many Sky Prides to tremble. Boom! Stormy waves rose up in this small world, and the waves were 10,000 zhang high. After a series of attacks, the Qi remained unscathed. There was not even a scratch on its carapace. Everyone was stunned. The golden-winged rock, Kong Xian, the Void Sword Master, the Gungjin Shirling, and the others looked even worse. They were all famous Sky Prides in the Emperor Road. However, they could not even defeat a Qi together. If news of this were to spread, their reputation would be ruined. Just when everyone was feeling helpless. How dare this evil beast stand in the way of the Son of God? Following this indifferent voice, Yi Zichen said, in the distant sky, a vast sword Qi swept across the sky and slashed toward them. Along the way, the horrifying scene of immortals falling appeared. It was hair-raising. This sword Qi, could it be that Yi Guchen is here? The Void Sword Master could not help but shout as he felt the peerless sword Qi. His pupils suddenly shrank. In his opinion, on the Emperor Road, other than himself, only the reincarnated sword demon, Yi Guchen, could use such a sword technique. What? Yi Guchen is here? That's right. Only Yi Guchen can use such a sword technique. While the crowd was still in shock, the sword ray finally landed on the ground. Slash! Under everyone's shocked gaze, the Qi that they could not defeat even when they joined forces. Under this sword, its carapace shattered and was directly split into two. One should know that this was a Qi at the Sage Great Perfection realm. Even a Sage Sky Pride could not kill it in one move. How is this possible? How can Yi Guchen be so strong? The Void Sword Master could not help but feel shocked when he saw the Qi that was killed in one move. He had fought Yi Guchen before. Although Yi Guchen was very strong, he could not be so strong that he could kill a sage at the Sage Great Perfection realm in one move. Just as everyone's hearts were in a state of shock. In the distance, a leisurely figure finally stepped on the air and came over. When they saw the peerless figure in white, all the Sky Prides' faces froze. They were stunned. Chapter 538. In their minds, the person who drew the sword should be Yi Guchen, who was ranked first on the Barren Sky Saint ranking. Although not everyone had seen Yi Guchen's appearance before, they had heard of him. He wore a black robe and carried the blood-stained Imperial Slayer sword on his back. His temperament was cold and arrogant, like a lone wolf. However, the white-robed figure who walked in the air with his hands behind his back did not match the rumored Yi Guchen at all. Jun Xiaoyao's white robe fluttered in the wind. His temperament was like an immortal, and there was a hint of nonchalance on his handsome face. In his opinion, it was extremely normal for him to kill a Hui at the Sage Stage Paramount stage so casually. He did not feel proud at all. He's so handsome. Some female Sky Pride saw Jun Xiaoyao and exclaimed subconsciously. Their beautiful eyes were filled with shock and amazement. They were shocked because of Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation. They were amazed because of his appearance and his carefree temperament. Even if all the sky prides from Emperor Road joined forces, they could not defeat the Hui. However, this white-robed man killed it with a single move. This made many people's eyes tremble. There was only one person present who seemed to have stopped breathing and felt like his scalp was about to explode. Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao. Golden-winged rock's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. His teeth were chattering. Due to the extreme shock, his mind went blank for a moment. Was this not the figure that often appeared in his inner demons? How is this possible? You entered such a dangerous place. How are you still alive? Golden-winged rock could not believe it. His exclamation was heard by the other sky prides. At first, they were stunned. Then, they suddenly felt that this name sounded familiar. Jun Xiaoyao. Could it be the son of God of the Jun family? Kong Xian's beautiful eyes were also shocked. She had never seen Jun Xiaoyao before. However, almost all living beings in the Huangtian mystic realm had heard of Jun Xiaoyao's name. Not only the Huangtian mystic realm, but the sky pride from other ancient star domains also came to their senses. He is Jun Xiaoyao. Marquis Jiang churning and Marquis Naohai's eyes narrowed. Jun Xiaoyao's appearance was not good news for them, because it might overshadow the glory of the third prince of the sea. As for Su Biyu, she was also shocked. What made her even more upset was the fact that Mui Weihan, whom she viewed as a thorn in her side, walked to Jun Xiaoyao's side. There was no doubt that Jun Xiaoyao was the one who said that he wanted to use the Gungjin Spirit Stone as a crafting material. A cold glint flashed across the seventh metal stone spirit's eyes. At the same time, there was fear. After all, Jun Xiaoyao was able to kill Ho, who was at the level of a saint at great perfection, with a single strike of his sword. However, the Gung Metal Rock Spirit was not too afraid. Its body was made of divine metal, which made it invulnerable to swords and spears. It would not be easy for Jun Xiaoyao to deal with him. Looking, Jun's was Jun. He was used to being the center of attention wherever he went. Mui Weihan felt even more proud of herself. Damn it, son of a b****. Golden-winged Rock's body trembled. He wanted to cry, but had no tears. He even cursed. He instinctively flapped his wings and wanted to escape. When he met Jun Xiaoyao at the immortal ancient Dao Lake, he also ran away. He didn't even have the will to fight. But now, he finally arrived at the Kunping nest. He felt like he was about to fly. And then he met this jinx again. I must have had 8 lifetimes of bad luck to have messed with Jun Xiaoyao. The golden-winged little rock king looked terrible, and he was about to cry. It's golden-winged rock. Long time no see. How are you? Jun Xiaoyao glanced around and saw golden-winged rock, an old acquaintance. To be honest, Jun Xiaoyao missed seeing an old acquaintance from the Huangtian mystic realm on the Long Emperor's Road. So it's the son of God. Golden-winged rock squeezed out a smile that was uglier than crying. Golden-winged rock was too difficult. You're the rumored number 1 of the younger generation in the Huangtian mystic realm, the son of God of the Jun family. I didn't expect you to be a swordsman who specializes in swordsmanship. The void swordsman narrowed his eyes. For some reason, he always felt that there was something about Jun Xiaoyao that attracted him. It was like a power of the same origin. Jun Xiaoyao also noticed the void swordsman. After blocking it, a dark light flashed in his eyes. This feeling, could it be the space book? Jun Xiaoyao's primordial spirit perception was much stronger than that of the void swordsman. So he also keenly felt that the space book was fluctuating on the void swordsman. Here comes the leak. Jun Xiaoyao laughed from the bottom of his heart. He said, "The son of God is not a swordsman. It's just a pastime. How dare you insult swordsmanship?" Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's casual words, the void swordsman's eyes sharpened. To be able to display such a terrifying sword move, Jun Xiaoyao actually said that swordsmanship was a pastime. What was this if not an insult? You're in a hurry? Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyes indifferently. You insult swordsmanship. You don't deserve to use swordsmanship. The void swordsman said coldly. Huh? Jun Xiaoyao laughed. The Son of God just has to use another sword. As soon as Jun Xiaoyao's voice fell, a divine chain of order rushed out from between his eyebrows and immediately turned into a small golden sword with a monstrous aura. It was the primitive Emperor Sword. Feeling the terrifying power of the primitive Emperor Sword, the Void Swordsman's expression finally changed. Sword technique of the Void. He swung his sword, and the Void exploded. Sword chi swept out together with a spatial storm. However, in front of the primitive Emperor Sword, everything was destroyed. The sword chi exploded, and the primitive Emperor Sword went straight for the Void Swordsman, piercing through his forehead. Jun Xiaoyao, just you wait. If you have the guts, come to the 12th stage of the Emperor Road. I won't let you go. The Void Swordsman's spiritual body shouted angrily and exploded into specks of light. The Void Swordsman's spiritual body was destroyed. Seeing this scene, many of the Emperor Road's sky prides felt a chill run down their spines. First, he killed the Ho with a single sword move. Now, he killed the Void Swordsman. Although the Void Swordsman was only a spiritual body, he was still stronger than many of the quasi-saint sky prides. No wonder he's the number one of the younger generation in the Huangtian mystic realm. The rumors are true. Maybe it won't be long before we see the name of the Jun family Son of God on the Huangtian saint ranking. In the past, the Son of God of the Jun family was Yi Guqin, Lord Grimm, and the others. Now we know that the Jun family Son of God is the real Son of God. Some of the female sky prides were so excited that their eyes sparkled. On the other hand, Su Biyu, Kong Xian, and the others did not look happy. Yu Fuzi had forcibly suppressed Jun Xiaoyao's mount, the nine-headed lion. There was bound to be friction in the future. On the other hand, Su Biyu had a grudge against Mu Yuehan. The Gongjin rock spirit had almost attacked Jun Xiaoyao before. Su Biyu felt a chill run down her spine when she thought of this. Jun Xiaoyao did not care about the Gongjin rock spirit and the others. They could be killed at any time. Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand again. Using his fingers as a sword, he performed the sword chant of the immortal slayer and slashed down. In an instant, the entire ocean seemed to have been split in half by this sword. At the bottom of the sea, there was a dazzling golden layer within it. Chapter 539. That's the real Kuan Peng nest. Seeing the golden nest at the bottom of the sea, all the Emperor Road sky pride's eyes lit up. There was no doubt that the real Kuan Peng nest was at the bottom of the sea. The lair on the island was nothing more than an illusion created by Qi Jun Xiaoyao split the ocean current with his sword. Mu Yuehan followed closely behind him. Duke Fanjiang, Duke Chaohai, Kong Xian, Metal Rock Spirit, Su Biyu, and the others followed suit. As for Golden Winged Rock, there was a hint of struggle in his eyes. When he saw Jun Xiaoyao appear, he instinctively wanted to run away. However, his true form was the Golden Winged Rock. The Kuan Peng nest's opportunity was too compatible with him. Golden Winged Rock was reluctant to leave. Golden Winged Rock gritted his teeth and followed suit. The rest of the Emperor Road sky prides followed suit. At the bottom of the sea, the golden Kuan Peng nest emitted a dazzling glow. Many mysterious Taoist patterns flowed around it. The golden glow was dazzling, and the air was steaming. Jun Xiaoyao pointed his finger. The power of thunder gathered and turned into the Thunder Emperor's finger. He pointed it at the entrance of the Kuan Peng nest. In an instant, the entrance of the Kuan Peng nest was blasted apart with a loud boom. It's the Thunder Emperor's divine power. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao's technique, many of the Emperor Road sky prides were shocked. Jun Xiaoyao already had the Thunder Emperor's divine power. If he could obtain the Kuan Peng's divine power this time, his strength would definitely soar once again. The strong would always be strong. This was the truth. Golden Winged Rock's eyes were filled with despair. In a cruel place like the Emperor Road, the strong would only get stronger. As for the weak, they did not even have the right to become weak. They would lose their lives. After Jun Xiaoyao broke open the Kuan Peng nest, he barged into it in an extremely barbaric manner. In an instant, a terrifying aura appeared around him. Strands of murderous formation patterns appeared, and swept toward Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao stretched out his palm, and his mana surged. Like a divine millstone of destruction, it obliterated all the runes. Mui Wehan was by his side and didn't even need to do anything. So strong. Behind him, the Emperor Road Sky Prides were shocked to see Jun Xiaoyao carving out a path for himself. The other heavenly talents all had to be extremely careful when they entered the relic. How could there be someone like Jun Xiaoyao, who directly pushed his way through with brute force? Many geniuses followed behind Jun Xiaoyao with gleaming eyes. Su Biu, Gung Jin Shirling, Marquis Fanjiang, Marquis Naohai, and the others also shamelessly follow behind. You want to take advantage of me? When Jun Xiaoyao saw this, his eyes flashed with a hint of mockery. He reached out and grabbed Mu Yuehan's slender waist. Lord Son of God! Mu Yuehan's heart raced as her face flushed red. Could it be that Jun Xiaoyao was interested now? But this was in front of so many people. Could it be that Jun Xiaoyao was interested in this? Lord Son of God, if you want Wehan to play the flute, can you wait until we get back? Mui Wehan said with her face flushed red. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. Mui Wehan looked cold on the outside, but she was actually flirtatious on the inside. With a flash of his feet, he grabbed Mu Yuehan's waist and appeared 100 miles away in the blink of an eye, as if he had teleported. This was also one of the Spacebook's abilities. What? Seeing Jun Xiaoyao dashing away, the Emperor Road's Sky Prides who wanted to take advantage of him were dumbfounded. Arg! Not long after, screams could be heard. Some of the Sky Prides were cut in half by the killing formation. I can enter without you. Kong Xian's face darkened. She released a 9-color divine light from her hand and fought against the killing formation. The other Sky Prides were also fighting against the various incomplete killing formations. For a while, there were many casualties. On the other hand, Jun Xiaoyao finally let go of Mui Yuehan's waist after they had traveled hundreds of miles. Mui Wehan came back to her senses. It turned out that Jun Xiaoyao did not want the Sky Prides to follow behind and take advantage of him. Thinking of this, Mui Wehan was still a little disappointed. However, the disappointment quickly dissipated. That was because they had already passed through the killing formation. In front of them were all kinds of spiritual herbs and treasures. It was a dazzling array that blinded their eyes. Even though Mui Wehan was the Moon Palace's maiden sage, she still felt breathless when she saw so many treasures. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, did not feel anything. Not many of the treasures caught his eye. Perhaps the ones that caught his eye were still in the deeper parts. Jun Xiaoyao continued to go deeper. Mui Wehan collected all kinds of treasures along the way. Behind him, Kong Xian, the Metal Spirit Rock, the Golden Winged Rock, and the others followed closely. Seeing these treasures, they frantically searched for them. At that moment, Jun Xiaoyao stopped in front of the Kuan-Peng nest. That was because he found something that interested him. It was a piece of green wood that looked very old. It was very inconspicuous among the pile of treasures. However, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes lit up. He raised his hand and grabbed the piece of wood. This is the creation wood. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. The creation wood was an absolutely rare divine material for crafting weapons. A piece of creation wood the size of a finger was precious enough to be called a priceless treasure. And now, this piece of creation wood was as thick as an arm. Just nice. I can merge it into the creation chi cauldron. Jun Xiaoyao was very satisfied. His creation chi cauldron needed to be refined for a long time and add all kinds of divine gold and divine materials before it could transform into an emperor weapon or even a supreme deity weapon. That's the creation wood. Kong Xian, the Golden Winged Rock, and the others' eyes lit up when they saw the piece of wood in Jun Xiaoyao's hand. This was a diluted divine material that was even more precious than some divine gold. However, now that the creation wood was in Jun Xiaoyao's hands, they could only look on enviously. The Gungjin rock spirit's eyes lit up like never before. He was originally a divine gold spirit. If he could get this piece of creation wood and devour it, there would definitely be a qualitative change in his level of life and cultivation. I must get this creation wood. If I devour and refine it, I will definitely be able to cultivate more than one strand of deity chi. The Gungjin rock spirit couldn't help it. His body was a divine gold, so the creation wood was obviously fatal to him. With my divine gold body, even if he attacks me, he won't be able to kill me completely. The Gungjin rock spirit was very confident in his divine gold body. He directly attacked. Oh, is there really someone who doesn't want to die? Seeing the Gungjin rock spirit attack, Jun Xiaoyao was surprised. He had shown such powerful strength before, but there were still people who dared to provoke him. This creation wood is mine. Around the Gungjin rock spirit, rich Gungjin chi gushed out and turned into thousands of golden swords that pierced towards Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed with coldness. He put away the creation wood, stepped out, and grabbed the Gungjin rock spirit with both hands. You want to fight in close combat? The Gungjin rock spirit laughed when he saw that. He was a native genius on the Emperor's Road, so he didn't know that Jun Xiaoyao had the sacred body of the ancients that was invincible in close combat. My physical body is unparalleled. Even if Higuchin comes, he won't be able to kill me with one strike. The Gungjin rock spirit was extremely confident. Is that so? But I'm not him, the son of God. Jun Xiaoyao reached out to suppress the Gungjin rock spirit. The moment their physical bodies touched, the smile on the Gungjin rock spirit's face suddenly froze. It was replaced by unparalleled horror. The power of 100,000 divine elephants caused his body to crack, and it began to collapse. Then, Jun Xiaoyao tore with both hands, and the Gungjin rock spirit's body that he was so proud of was directly torn in half. No! The Gungjin rock spirit was extremely shocked. He didn't expect this at all. He struggled, trying to escape. Jun Xiaoyao took out the myriad chi cauldron again and directly suppressed the Gungjin rock spirit into it to refine it. I, the Son of God, said that I would use you as a material for refining. I will never go back on my word. Jun Xiaoyao held the myriad chi cauldron in his hand, and the Gungjin rock spirit screams came out from it. They gradually weakened and finally stopped. All the geniuses who saw that felt a chill from head to toe. Jun Xiaoyao was simply too ferocious. No matter who his opponent was, he would be able to kill them in one move without any hesitation. Seeing that, Su Biyu's pretty face turned pale. Her jade-like legs trembled, and pale yellow water dripped down. She was so scared that she wet herself. Chapter 540. Although the Gungjin rock spirit was a native prodigy on the Emperor Road, its strength was stronger than many prodigies from the Huangtian mystic realm. In addition, it was a divine metal spirit, and its body was invincible. Even a small figure who had cultivated a strand of immortal chi could not kill it in a few moves. This was why the Gungjin rock spirit dared to attack Jun Xiaoyao after seeing his strength. It thought that Jun Xiaoyao could not kill instantly. As long as there was a chance, it could escape. However, the Gungjin rock spirit was wrong. How could it fathom Jun Xiaoyao's strength? How can a bird on the ground know the height of a swan? It is ridiculous for you to try to fathom the power of the Son of God with your shallow eyes. He then refined the Gungjin rock spirit into the universal chi cauldron. Jun Xiaoyao could feel that the universal chi cauldron's quality seemed to have improved a little. Although the improvement wasn't much, it would eventually lead to a transformation under the influence of time and effort. At this moment, the surrounding prodigies were terrified. They knew that Jun Xiaoyao was strong, but they did not expect him to be this strong. Some of the prodigies even smelled a strange smell. They looked towards the source of the smell, and their mouths twitched. Su Biyu, the saintess of the Bailuo sect, who is famous for her beauty in the Xianyuan ancient star zone, was so scared that she peed her pants. A saintess was so scared that she peed her pants. Wouldn't she be laughed at if word got out? Su Biyu's lips were trembling. The ally she had worked so hard to recruit had died at the hands of Jun Xiaoyao. She did not even have the strength to resist. On the other hand, Mui Wehan was smiling. Seeing Su Biyu's embarrassed look, it was impossible to say that she was not happy at all. Now, Mui Wehan was even more glad that she met Jun Xiaoyao. If it were anyone else, they would have been suppressed by the Gungjin rock spirit. As for Kong Xian, Golden Winged Rock, Duke Jiangfu, Duke Naohai, and the others, their eyes were filled with fear. If it was His Excellency, would he be able to instantly kill the metal spirit? Kong Xian couldn't help but speculate. After casually refining the heptagold stone spirit, Jun Xiaoyao did not waste time and continued to go deeper. He could already feel that in the deepest part of the Kuan Peng nest, there was a vigorous qi and blood boiling. The group continued to venture deeper. Not long after, they arrived at the end of the Kuan Peng nest. A vast lake appeared in front of them. Just as everyone was shocked, the entire lake suddenly began to churn. Under everyone's shocked gazes, a large black fish with golden stripes leaped into the air. After leaping into the air, he transformed into a rock and soared into the sky. His wings were like clouds hanging from the sky. It's Kuan Peng. No way. The Kuan Peng is still alive. Many of the sky prides present almost collapsed from the pressure when they felt the desolate and majestic aura. No, it's not a living creature. It's formed from the remnant aura of the Taoist patterns. Golden-winged rock's eyes lit up. To a certain extent, the golden-winged rock and the Kuan Peng were related. Hence, golden-winged rock could sense it. At that moment, the Kuan Peng landed in the middle of the lake. Everyone looked over and saw that there was a small pool of blood in the middle of the lake. Within it was bright red and resplendent blood that glowed with a golden light, like a melted blood agate. This is definitely the true blood of the Kuan Peng. Golden-winged rock's eyelids twitched. He could not suppress the fire in his eyes. All of the sky prides breathing quickened. What was even more breathtaking was that in the middle of the blood pool, there was a golden rune bone. It seemed to be imprinted with all sorts of complicated Taoist laws and patterns. At a glance, it gave people a feeling of dizziness and dizziness. Could it be the Kuan Peng rune bone that recorded the Kuan Peng's mystique? All of the sky pride's eyes were burning. The greatest opportunity in the Kuan Peng nest was the true blood of the Kuan Peng and the Kuan Peng's mystique. That was also the reason why they had gathered here. However, just as they were about to take a step forward, they seemed to have thought of something and looked at the white-robed figure in front of them. Jun Xiaoyao stood in place, looking at the blood pool and the Kuan Peng rune bone in surprise. However, he did not move. Since Jun Xiaoyao did not move, the other sky prides did not dare to move. Time passed by slowly, but Jun Xiaoyao still did not move. Some of the sky prides could not hold back anymore. Who could stand to see a mountain of gold in front of them, but not pick it up? Who cares? Let's go all out. How can we walk the Emperor's road if we're so timid? One by one, the sky prides dashed out like arrows. Although they said that they were going all out, they were still worried. To their relief, Jun Xiaoyao did not stop them. Seeing this, Kong Xian, Marquis Fanjiang, Marquis Chaohai, Golden Winged Rock, and the others could not hold back and dashed out. However, just as these sky prides were about to reach the Kuan Peng true blood pool, suddenly, large red fish leaped out from the large lake with saw-like sharp teeth in their mouths and bit at these sky prides. The cultivation of these large red fish was at least in the Boundary Saint realm. At this moment, there were at least a few hundred large red fish, which meant that there were hundreds of Boundary Saint realm ferocious beasts. That was extremely terrifying. Screams were heard as some of the sky prides were torn to pieces by the large red fish. These are red dragonfish, but they can't be this strong. Golden Winged Rock and the others were shocked. Red dragonfish had a very faint dragon clan bloodline, but even so, their potential was extremely limited and could not reach the Boundary Saint realm. As expected, it's because of the Kuan Peng true blood. Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have expected this and said calmly. The aura of the Kuan Peng true blood powder merged into the large lake and was absorbed by these red dragonfish, causing their strength to skyrocket. No wonder. So, Master Son of God had already expected this. Mui Wehan admired Jun Xiaoyao even more. Being with him gave her a sense of security. Now, the hundreds of Boundary Saint red dragonfish were killing everywhere. Of course, these Emperor Road sky prides were not completely helpless. The scene was chaotic. It's time. Jun Xiaoyao stepped out. He took out the universal qi cauldron and opened a path in front. Vigorous universal qi was rolling in the cauldron. Anything that stood in Jun Xiaoyao's way whether it was the red dragonfish or the Emperor Road sky prides. As long as they came into contact with the universal chi cauldron, they would be turned into minced meat. Jun Xiaoyao pushed his way through and arrived at the Kunpeng True Blood Pool. Kong Xian, Marquis Fanjiang, Marquis Chao Hai, and the others gritted their teeth when they saw this. Jun Xiaoyao reached out and grabbed the Kunpeng runebone. At that moment, a small Kunpeng shadow suddenly appeared in the Kunpeng runebone. Its huge black tail swung toward Jun Xiaoyao. You still have some sense of defense? Jun Xiaoyao unleashed the power of 100,000 divine elephant particles. Although the immemorial Kunpeng was a synonym for power, the immemorial divine elephant was not to be trifled with either. The collision between the two created a shocking shockwave that shook the surrounding space. If it were any other sky prides, they would definitely be turned into minced meat by the Kunpeng Shadow's tail. However, Jun Xiaoyao was able to block the attack with ease. Jun Xiaoyao dealt with the Kunpeng Shadow while using the Universal Chi Cauldron to suppress the Kunpeng runebone. However, as the Universal Chi Cauldron descended, the terrifying pressure was too much for the Kunpeng runebone to bear. Then it exploded into pieces and scattered all over the place. This is our chance. Kong Xian, Marquis Fanjiang, Marquis Chao Hai, and even Subi Yu could not help but make a move. If they did not take the opportunity in front of them, would they still be human? Kong Xian and the others each obtained a piece of the scattered runebone. Although it was an incomplete Kunpeng runebone, it still recorded a portion of the Kunpeng superpower. After obtaining the Kunpeng runebone fragments, they did not hesitate to rush out of the Kunpeng nest. Jun Xiaoyao looked at them with a playful look in his eyes. Chapter 541. Kong Xian and the others wisely chose to escape after obtaining the Kunpeng symbol bone fragment. Fight with Jun Xiaoyao? Only if their brains were fried. Not only did Jun Xiaoyao have a playful look in his eyes, but even Mu Yuehan shook her head slightly. Jun Xiaoyao had already set up an inescapable trap. This time, Jun Xiaoyao was in the atmosphere. What surprised him, however, was that one of them had also gotten a piece of the Kunpeng talisman bone. But he did not leave. It was golden winged rock. Interesting, golden winged rock. Looks like you're still not convinced by this son of God. Golden winged rock did not run away after obtaining the Kunpeng symbol bone fragment. Did he want to fight with him? Golden winged rock shuddered and hurriedly shook his head. No, the Kunpeng symbol bone fragment flew over of its own accord. I did not take the initiative to fight for it. Golden winged rock's words were true. Perhaps because he was a golden winged rock, a Kunpeng symbol bone fragment was attracted by his aura and flew over to him. This son of God can give you a chance to make a move, Jun Xiaoyao said. Golden winged rock shook his head like a rattle drum. You want to set me up again? Am I an idiot? Golden winged rock firmly refused. Every time Jun Xiaoyao said something like this, he would definitely lose his life if he dared to make a move. Boring, give it to me, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. Golden winged rock was reluctant to part with the Kunpeng symbol bone fragment, but he knew that he would not be able to obtain it under Jun Xiaoyao's nose. Golden winged rock handed the Kunpeng symbol bone fragment to Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao waved his hand again and put the pool of Kunpeng true blood into his bag. Then, he took out a few drops and gave them to Mu Yuehan. Lord Son of God, this is too precious. Mu Yuehan was pleasantly surprised. She didn't ask for much. She was already very satisfied to be able to plunder some treasures. She did not expect that Jun Xiaoyao would give her a few more drops of Kunpeng true blood. Take it, Jun Xiaoyao said. He did not lack these few drops. Mu Yuehan accepted the Kunpeng true blood with joy on her face. Seeing that even the Kunpeng true blood had been taken away by Jun Xiaoyao, the remaining sky prides shook their heads. They were also preparing to leave. However, the son of God of the Jun family still failed to obtain the complete Kunpeng divine ability. That's right. If the son of God of the Jun family were to obtain the Kunpeng's magical powers, wouldn't it be even more impossible for anyone to deal with him? These Emperor Road sky prides discussed secretly. Let's get out of here as well. Jun Xiaoyao said with a faint smile. He also wanted to see the look of despair on Kong Xian and the others' faces when they could not get out. On the other side, Kong Xian, Duke Fanjiang, Duke Naohai, and Su Biyu were the first to rush out of the Kuan Peng nest. "Let's get out of here first. We'll decide the winner later," Kong Xian shouted. The four of them had a tacit understanding. They did not fight for the treasures right now. Instead, they decided to leave the Sea of Stars first. However, when they really left the Kuan Peng nest and wanted to escape the Sea of Stars, they suddenly bumped into the Sealing Formation runes. What? What's going on? Why is there a Sealing Formation rune here? Impossible. It wasn't here when we came in. These Sealing Formation runes were naturally the second anti-mortal seal that Jun Xiaoyao had set up before entering the Kuan Peng nest. Even an ordinary sage would not be able to break the second anti-mortal seal easily, not to mention quasi-sages like them. No, impossible. Duke Fanjiang and Duke Naohai panicked. They hurriedly took out their techniques and attacked. However, the Sealing Formation runes did not budge. Kong Xian also panicked. 9-color divine light burst out from her jade-like hands, turning into 9 beams of light that pierced through the Sealing Formation runes. The Sealing Formation runes did not budge. Su Biyu was so panicked that she was about to cry. No matter how they attacked, they could not break the second anti-mortal seal. A sense of despair spread in their hearts. At that moment, a calm voice came from the Sea of Stars behind them. "I've given you so much time, but you still can't break it and escape. What a pity." Although the voice was gentle, it sounded like the whispers of a demon to Kong Xian and the others. Jun Xiaoyao leisurely walked over from behind. He was not worried that Kong Xian and the others would break the Sealing Formation runes and escape with the Kuan Peng talisman bone fragments. So he still has this trick up his sleeve. No wonder the son of God of the Jun family is not panicking at all. The Emperor Road Sky Prides, who followed closely behind, were also speechless when they saw this. Jun Xiaoyao was too ruthless. The golden-winged rock broke out in cold sweat. Fortunately, he knew what was good for him and did not run away. Otherwise, he would be caught in a dilemma. I never thought that the great son of God of the Jun family would resort to such despicable means. Kong Xian's face darkened. Despicable? Jun Xiaoyao laughed. Despicable is the passport of the despicable, and noble is the epitaph of the noble. I, the Son of God, have never said that I am a great and honorable hero. Jun Xiaoyao replied calmly. Aren't you afraid that others will criticize you? Kong Xian bit her lip and said, "Heh, they are just jealous dogs who can't reach the heights that I, the Son of God, am at. Why should I care?" Jun Xiaoyao sneered. Then, without further ado, he pointed his finger at the chaotic river marquis and the Naohai marquis. "We are the followers of the sea god's third prince. Aren't you afraid that the prince will pursue this matter?" The two of them screamed in horror. Jun Xiaoyao did not even bother to say anything. He crushed the two of them with a finger, and the Kuan Peng rune bone fragment fell back into his hand. Then, Jun Xiaoyao pointed at Su Biyu. "No, Master Son of God, I am willing to be your slave, even if I am to be your bitch." Su Biyu screamed and cried as she begged for mercy. She did not want to die. "Bitch? Sorry, I don't need one either." Jun Xiaoyao pressed his finger down and crushed Su Biyu's delicate body inch by inch. Seeing this, Kong Xian felt as if a basin of cold water had been poured over her from head to toe. It chilled her to the bone. "Now it's your turn." Jun Xiaoyao looked at her calmly. At this moment, the golden-winged little rock king gritted his teeth and could not help but ask, "Divine Son, can you spare her life?" "Oh." Jun Xiaoyao was a little surprised to hear golden-winged rock's words. He looked at Kong Xian, then at golden-winged rock. He immediately understood. "I see. But are you sure you want to be the one to take over?" Jun Xiaoyao smiled. Although Kong Xian was only Jade Fozi's follower, her heart was completely devoted to Jade Fozi. She was just bewitched by Jade Fozi, golden-winged rock said. He looked at Jun Xiaoyao, gritted his teeth, then knelt on one knee before Jun Xiaoyao. "I hope Master Son of God can spare her life." "You." Even Kong Xian was a little surprised. She did not expect golden-winged rock to plead for her. Bootlicker, until you have nothing left. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head. Kong Xian had her own stubbornness. She said coldly, Master Jade Fozi will not sit by and do nothing. Your nine-headed lion is still being suppressed by him. Huh? Jun Xiaoyao's calm expression froze for a moment. A cold light flashed in his eyes. What did you say? Say it again. Leisurely literature. Let the soul travel. =. Chapter 542. The nine-headed lion used to be your mouth, didn't it? Master Arhut has suppressed it. Once Master Arhut cultivates on the infernal planet and cultivates his second strand of immortal chi, you might not be able to defeat him. Even at a time like this, Kong Xian still had absolute confidence in Jade Fozi. Gosheng has been suppressed. Jun Xiaoyao sighed softly. The nine-headed lion's original name was Gosheng. Although Jun Xiaoyao had already taken Princess Longji as his mount, the nine-headed lion used to be his mount. Jade Arhut, huh? An ancient freak from Little Western Paradise. I don't know why, but I don't like this bunch of bald donkeys. Jun Xiaoyao chuckled. How dare you insult Master Arhut? Kong Xian bit her lip. Enough. I think you've been brainwashed by that bald donkey. Golden-winged rock couldn't take it anymore and shouted. This kind of brainless, stupid woman should be beaten awake. As soon as Jun Xiaoyao finished speaking, he took a step forward and landed in front of Kong Xian. Kong Xian's expression changed. She wasn't going to give up just like that. She let out a clear cry as nine-color divine light shone from her body. Then she brought out a nine-color divine fan. There were 9 life, true feathers on it. It was a life divine weapon refined from her own true feathers. Kong Xian waved the 9-color divine fan, and 9-color divine light surged out like a tidal wave. The stars and asteroids around her exploded. As the daughter of Mama Yuri's first wife, Kong Xian was very powerful. However, Jun Xiaoyao's gaze was still indifferent. He didn't use any theurgy. He just clenched his fist and punched. The void exploded, and a pitch-black hole appeared in it. Jun Xiaoyao shattered the 9-color divine fan with one punch. Kong Xian spat out a mouthful of blood after her natal divine weapon was shattered. She was still unwilling to give up. An illusory 9-colored immortal chi flowed around her body. It was the embryonic form of her immortal chi. Kill! Kong Xian punched out with the embryonic form of the 9-colored immortal chi toward Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao punched again, activating the fist of the 6 paths of reincarnation. After condensing the immortal chi of reincarnation, Jun Xiaoyao's fist of the 6 paths of reincarnation became even more powerful. However, he didn't manifest the immortal chi of reincarnation because it wasn't necessary. Boom! The void exploded, and a blast of air surged out, shaking in all directions. Many of the meteorites were shattered into pieces. Struck by the shock wave, Kong Xian's delicate body was sent flying again, and she spat out a mouthful of blood. At that moment, Jun Xiaoyao appeared before Kong Xian as if he had teleported. He slapped her without mercy. Divine Son, please have mercy. The little rock king's expression changed. Jun Xiaoyao slapped Kong Xian so hard that she was seeing stars and her face was swollen. Kong Xian's face was red and swollen. She was bleeding. The corner of her mouth was also broken. Her face was swollen. Logically speaking, when faced with such a beautiful woman, very few men would be so ruthless. However, Jun Xiaoyao didn't mind at all. He didn't mind hitting women. Those male prodigies who said they would never hit a woman were either retarded or idiots. Golden-winged rock was relieved to see that Jun Xiaoyao didn't kill Kong Xian. Jun Xiaoyao, kill me if you dare. Kong Xian screamed. She couldn't stand the humiliation. I didn't want to kill you, but I heard you say that Jade Fozi suppressed the 9-headed lion and made it his mount. In that case, I will also suppress her followers and make them my mounts, said the Divine Son. This is called giving her a taste of her own medicine. You want to make me your mount? Kong Xian was stunned. She didn't expect Jun Xiaoyao to have such a plan. Then, she shook her head in fear. No, I'm Master Fozi's follower. You can't ride me." Kong Xian turned around and was about to leave. She would rather die than be ridden by Jun Xiaoyao. If she was ridden by Jun Xiaoyao, would Jade Fozi still want her as his follower? Obviously not. Jade Fozi wouldn't want a woman who was ridden by someone else as his follower. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were calm. He turned to Golden Winged Rock and said, "Little Rock King, you don't mind if I ride the woman you like, right?" Golden Winged Rock's mouth twitched. He forced a stiff smile and said, No, I don't mind, as long as Master Son of God can spare her life." The Emperor Road's Sky Prides present had a strange look on their faces. Why did they feel that Jun Xiaoyao's move had made Jade Fozi and Little Rock King a cuckold? Jun Xiaoyao stretched out a hand. Mist billowed and divine light surged. It was like Buddha's five-finger mountain, suppressing Kong Xian. Kong Xian tried her best to resist, but in the end, she was powerless. With a scream, she was beaten back to her original form, a beautiful nine-colored peacock. Jun Xiaoyao took a step forward and landed on the nine-colored peacock's back. The nine-colored peacock's body glowed with divine light. It wanted to shake off Jun Xiaoyao. However, Jun Xiaoyao stomped his foot. The nine-colored peacock let out a cry and finally stopped struggling. "That's right. Since Jade Fozi suppressed my mount, I'll suppress his follower and make her my mount. Isn't that reasonable?" Jun Xiaoyao said. Everyone's mouth twitched when they heard that. Listen, is that even human? After suppressing Kong Xian, Jun Xiaoyao also obtained all the Kuan Peng Talisman bone fragments. In the end, they merged into one and formed a complete Kuan Peng Talisman bone. The biggest opportunity of fortune in the Kuan Peng nest, the Kuan Peng Talisman bone, the Kuan Peng True Blood, and the Builder Wood had all fallen into Jun Xiaoyao's hands. As for the resources that the other Sky Prides had plundered, Jun Xiaoyao did not care about them at all. At that moment, the remaining Sky Prides of Emperor Road who had survived were extremely nervous. They were afraid that Jun Xiaoyao would force them to hand over their opportunity of fortune. Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand and snapped his fingers. Instantly, the surrounding ceiling runes disappeared. "You may leave now," Jun Xiaoyao said. "Thank you, Master Son of God." "Master Son of God, you're so magnanimous. I'm impressed. Master Son of God is the most handsome. We love you." Some female Sky Pride screamed. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. They suddenly felt that Jun Xiaoyao was quite benevolent and kind. After the Sky Prides expressed their gratitude respectfully, they dispersed as well. However, the Golden Winged Rock did not leave. "Do you have something else to say?" Jun Xiaoyao glanced at the Golden Winged Rock. Although he had some conflicts with the Golden Winged Rock in the past, he was still very much in control. In his eyes, the Golden Winged Rock was not even a nuisance. The Golden Winged Rock was as insignificant as a speck of dust. Therefore, as long as the Golden Winged Rock behaved himself, he would not kill the Golden Winged Rock for no reason. The Golden Winged Rock's eyes flashed with a hint of struggle. Then he knelt down on one knee in front of Jun Xiaoyao again. "I have a presumptuous request. I hope that Son of God can grant me some of the Kuan Peng True Blood." "What do you need the Kuan Peng True Blood for?" Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows slightly. He had already collected an entire pool of Kuan Peng True Blood. 1 or 2 drops of it were nothing to him. "Because I want to challenge you, Fozi." The Golden Winged Rock's eyes were sharp and filled with determination. LT/DIV. Chapter 543. The Golden Winged Rock was interested in the Kuan Peng nest. To a large extent, he wanted to obtain the Kuan Peng Mystique and the Kuan Peng True Blood so that he could evolve and challenge Jade Fozi. He wanted Kong Xian to know that Jade Fozi was also a human, not a god. He could also be defeated. "How dare you challenge Master Fozi?" The nine-color peacock spoke in human language. Clearly, she was not happy with the Golden Winged Rock's words. Her Master Fozi was not someone that anyone could challenge. "If you make any more noise, you can't even be my mount. I'll stew you," Jun Xiaoyao said coldly. The nine-colored peacock stopped talking. She wanted to live. She wanted to see Jade Fozi defeat Jun Xiaoyao with his own hands. The Golden Winged Rock ignored Kong Xian. Instead, He looked at Jun Xiaoyao and said, I don't want the Kuan Peng mystique. I only want a few drops of the son of God's true blood. I'm willing to be your follower. Mui Weihan was shocked when she heard this. Although the Golden Winged Rock was not one of the top sky prides on Emperor Road, he was still on the Barren Sky Saint leaderboard. It was surprising that he would ask to be Yi Futian's follower. You are not qualified. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head calmly. The golden-winged Little Rock King's talent was indeed not weak, but all of his followers were peerless talents. They were either descendants of the ancient monarch tribes or had the ability to devour everything. Otherwise, they had the rare reincarnation sacred constitution. Compared to these people, the Golden-Winged Rock was indeed not good enough. The Golden-Winged Rock was also stunned. He did not expect the gap between him and Jun Xiaoyao to be so wide that he was not even qualified to be his follower. However, on second thought, it was true. Without the Kuan Peng Grand Art and Kuan Peng True Blood, the Golden-Winged Rock wasn't even qualified to challenge Jade Fozi. Golden-Winged Rock lowered his head and clenched his fists. He was unwilling, but there was nothing he could do. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao spoke again. However, I can give you a few drops of Kuan Peng True Blood. Golden-Winged Rock raised his head abruptly, his eyes glinting. Is what Son of God said true? His mood was on a roller coaster ride. At this moment, he was incomparably happy. Of course, when has this Son of God ever gone back on his word? Jun Xiaoyao said. He wasn't pitying them. He just wanted to watch the show. Even if it was just to discuss Jade Fozi a little, it would still be good. Jun Xiaoyao loved to watch a show from the sidelines. Thank you, Son of God. I'm willing to follow by your side. Golden-Winged Rock cupped his fists, his eyes filled with excitement. He did not expect Jun Xiaoyao to give him the Kuan Peng Grand Art. It was already a pleasant surprise that he was given a few drops of Kuan Peng True Blood. Jun Xiaoyao waved his hand and gave a few drops of Kuan Peng True Blood to Golden-Winged Rock. As for the Kuan Peng Grand Art, he naturally would not give it to Golden-Winged Rock. He just wanted to watch the show. It was not like he was doing charity. Master Son of God, where are we going next? Mui Weihan asked. After this battle, Jun Xiaoyao must have shocked many sky prides. Jade Fozi, the Void Sword Master, the Sea God's third prince, and the others would not turn a blind eye. Let's go to Jade Gate Pass first. I need to digest this opportunity, Jun Xiaoyao said. Now that he was at the 9th level of the Emperor Road, he was not in a hurry. He could first digest the Kuan Peng Grand Art and half of the Space Scroll. Next, Jun Xiaoyao sat on Kong Xian's 9-color peacock and headed to Jade Gate Pass with Mui Weihan and Golden-Winged Rock. When Jun Xiaoyao returned to Jade Gate Pass, many sky prides had already returned from the Kuan Peng nest. News about Jun Xiaoyao had naturally spread far and wide. Who would have thought that the Jun family Son of God would reappear? He's so powerful that he could kill the Qi, a saint at the great perfection stage, with a single move. And the Void Sword Master. Although he was just a spiritual body, he was still very powerful. In the end, he was still killed by the Jun family Son of God in a single move. And the Gungjin Rock's spirit. It has a divine body. Even Yi Guqin, the first on the Barren Sky Saint leaderboard, could not kill it with a single move. How do you think these two will react when they meet? Will the Jun family Son of God be able to take the first place on the Saint leaderboard and become the king of this imperial road? At this moment, the Jade Gate Pass was bustling with noise and excitement. Everyone was talking about Jun Xiaoyao, because Jun Xiaoyao was too legendary. He had entered the Bronze Divine Palace, which was almost certain death, and yet he had come out alive. Not only that, although he had missed the period of the Spirit Qi recovery, his cultivation was not lagging behind. Instead, it was higher than most people. Now that he had stepped onto the Imperial Road, he was even more powerful. These people did not know about the Battle of the Immortals in the Barren Sky Mystic Realm and Jun Xiaoyao's record of killing hundreds of saints with a single cauldron. If they had known, they would have been hundreds or even thousands of times more shocked than they were now. Not long after, Jun Xiaoyao and the others arrived at Jade Gate Pass. Jade Gate Pass was just as majestic as before. Moonlight fell and galaxies surrounded it. It was a magnificent sight that had stood tall since ancient times. Jun Xiaoyao and the others had caused a stir before they even entered Jade Gate Pass. Oh my God, it's the son of God of the Jun family. Is that the son of God of the Jun family? He's so handsome. Is that peacock that the son of God of the Jun family is sitting on Kong Xian? Holy Ish asterisk T. Euphosi's follower, Kong Xian, is being used as a mount by the son of God of the Jun family. If I were Euphosi, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to stay calm. Jun Xiaoyao's arrival caused a stir in the Jade Gate Pass. Seeing such a scene, Jun Xiaoyao even had the illusion that he was a fanatic fan from his previous life. A captain guarding the pass saw Jun Xiaoyao, and his eyes flashed with surprise. He then went up respectfully and cupped his hand slightly. "May I ask if you're the son of God of the Jun family?" "Yes, and you are," Jun Xiaoyao said. "Could it be that he's here to cause trouble like the captain of the Sword Gate Pass?" "I am a captain of the Jade Gate Pass. Under the orders of the Lord Guardian, I have prepared a residence for Lord Son of God. Please follow me." The captain of the soldiers respectfully led the way for Jun Xiaoyao. All the geniuses in the Jade Gate Pass were dumbfounded. When they first arrived at the Jade Gate Pass, the captain's attitude was extremely cold. He even refused to let some of the weaker geniuses enter the pass. Now, however, Jun Xiaoyao was treated with such courtesy. Even the high and mighty Lord Protector had prepared a place for him to stay. Is this the difference between people? Some of the geniuses were dejected. They worked hard to climb to a higher position. However, someone was born to stand at the top and be respected. That's very thoughtful of you, Jun Xiaoyao said lightly and did not refuse. Under the captain's lead, he came to a blessed place with extremely rich spirit qi. It was almost comparable to the spirit qi in the Kuan Peng nest. It's just nice. It's convenient for me to cultivate. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. He decided to spend half a month to comprehend the Kuan Peng Grand Theurgy. The Golden Winged Rock and Mu Yuehan also went to cultivate. As for Kong Xian, Jun Xiaoyao had already set up a seal. She cannot escape at all. Let's start cultivating now, Jun Xiaoyao said to himself. If it were other geniuses, even if they obtained the Kuan Peng Grand Theurgy, it would be difficult for them to completely master it in a few months to a year. However, with Jun Xiaoyao's monstrous comprehension, cultivating any theurgy was as easy as eating and drinking. Not to mention, with the help of the Kuan Peng True Blood, it was even easier for him to cultivate. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was immersed in cultivation, the news about the Kuan Peng nest and Jun Xiaoyao gradually spread. Eufuzi and the others also heard the news. LT/DIV. Chapter 544. There were more than 1,000 Sky Prides who participated in the Kuan Peng nest's opportunity. In the end, there were also a few hundred who left alive. Therefore, news about Jun Xiaoyao could not be hidden at all. He had killed the Void Swordmaster's spirit body, killed the Sea God's third prince's follower, and even suppressed Eufuzi's follower, Kong Xian, to become his mount. It could be said that Jun Xiaoyao had offended 3 top-notch Sky Prides in the Emperor Road in just one opportunity. Moreover, all 3 of them had cultivated a strand of immortal qi. If an ordinary person had offended 3 of them, they would definitely panic and feel that their future was bleak. Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have nothing to do with it, as he cultivated leisurely. Many Sky Prides in the Jade Gate Pass were amazed. As expected of the son of God of the Jun family, he was not afraid of any challenge at all. Of course, Eufuzi and the others could not turn a blind eye to it. At the 12th stage of the Emperor Road, inside a Buddhist temple, Eufuzi, who was dressed in a jade-white Buddhist robe, sat cross-legged on a futon. His long hair fell to the ground, and his face was like jade. He looked like a handsome Buddha carved from jade. There was more than one strand of immortal qi around his body. However, the second strand of immortal qi seemed a little illusory. It was obviously just a prototype and was not solid. Eufuzi had also received news about the Kuan Peng nest and Kong Xian. Suppressing Kong Xian to become your mount, Jun Xiaoyao, are you expressing your dissatisfaction with me, suppressing the 9-headed lion? Eufuzi muttered to himself. The 9-headed lion, who was being suppressed at the side, was so happy that it almost burst into tears when it heard Jun Xiaoyao's name. Haha, I knew it. Master will never die. He will step onto the Emperor Road. He will come to save me. The nine-headed lion roared. He was extremely excited, and his previous depression was swept away. Are you sure he's here to save you and not to die? Yu Fuzi was still smiling like a Buddha, but his eyes were filled with cold light. You bald donkey, you can't fathom what Master is capable of. Your follower must have been trained by Master to a pulp. The nine-headed lion was just about to say something when Jade Fozi waved his hand. The nine-headed lion's 9 mouths were sealed at the same time, and it could only make muffled sounds. You dare to use my follower as a mount? Jun Xiaoyao, you are very courageous. If I can convert you, you would make a good servant. Jade Fozi smiled. He never killed anyone. He only knew how to convert. However, Jade Fozi wasn't going to look for Jun Xiaoyao right now. Because the infernal star was about to open, he needed to enter and search for immortal quintessence to completely condense the second strand of immortal chi. When the time came, he would have a greater chance of success. Jade Fozi hadn't made a move yet, but the news had spread. Many people had only one reaction when they heard that Jade Fozi was going to convert Jun Xiaoyao into a slave. He was just stunned. Converting the son of God of the Jun family into a slave was not something an ordinary person would dare to say. Is Jade Fozi crazy? How dare he say something like that? Jade Fozi is a powerful person who is about to cultivate 2 strands of immortal chi. I heard that the son of God of the Jun family is also in the saint realm, but he has never shown any immortal chi. Maybe he hasn't cultivated successfully yet. Immortal chi was not only a trump card, but also the most obvious way to measure a person's potential. Ever since Jun Xiaoyao stepped onto the Imperial Road, he had never shown any immortal chi in the eyes of others. Therefore, many people thought that Jun Xiaoyao's strength might have caught up, but he hadn't had the time to condense immortal chi. In comparison, without any immortal chi, he was obviously at a disadvantage. What was even more shocking was that Jade Fozi wasn't the only one who said that. On a mountain peak in another realm of the 12 stages of the Emperor Road, a swordsman in a green robe, the Void Swordsman, sat cross-legged on the peak. He was also waiting for the infernal star to open. How dare he destroy one of my spiritual bodies? That Jun Xiaoyao is really despicable. The Void Swordsman's eyes were as sharp as swords. However, Jun Xiaoyao's strength and methods did indeed make him a little wary. But why do I have a feeling that Jun Xiaoyao has something that attracts me? If I can get it, it might be of great help to me. The Void Swordsman thought to himself. Then, he took out half a dark golden scroll. The surrounding space rippled slightly. It was half a scroll of the space book. I've been studying half a scroll of the space book since I was young. Finally, I'm about to condense the second strand of immortal chi. When I get to the infernal star and obtain enough immortal essence, I can completely condense the second strand of immortal chi. There's also that Jun Xiaoyao. If I kill him, I might be able to get what I want. The Void Swordsman's eyes flashed coldly. He had already lost to Yi Guchen. He could not afford to lose to Jun Xiaoyao. The Void Swordsman had also said that if Jun Xiaoyao had the guts to come to the 12th level of the Emperor Road, he would be there in person. For a moment, everyone was shocked again. However, that was not the only thing. In the void of the Emperor Road, a gorgeous aqua blue dragon boat was sailing toward the 12th level of the Emperor Road at an extremely fast speed. Inside the dragon boat, a handsome young man wearing the 7 Seas serpent armor and holding the Sea King's trident sat on a throne inlaid with luminous pearls. His expression was cold. Around him, some beautiful women who served him felt the cold atmosphere. They stood with their hands by their sides, trembling, and did not dare to speak. The Kuanping's grand magic and the Kuanping's true blood are both gone, and Marquis River Churning and Marquis Chowhai are also dead. What a son of God of the Jun family! This handsome young man was the 3rd prince of the sea god from the ancient star region of the Sea King. Although he was a genius from the ancient star region, his strength was no weaker than the descendants of the immortal forces of the Huangtian mystic realm. This time, He sent 2 of his followers to the Kunpeng's nest because the Kunpeng's grand magic was extremely important to him. If he could get his hands on it, his strength would skyrocket. But now, it was all taken away by Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao, the number 1 of the younger generation in the Huangtian mystic realm, but he has not cultivated divine qi. He is nothing. The third prince of the sea god's eyes flashed coldly. Not long after, there was another piece of news. The third prince of the sea god was also going to meet the son of god of the Jun family at the 12th level of the Emperor Road. For a moment, from the 9th to the 12th level, all kinds of news spread. Many geniuses were excited and were ready to go to the 12th level to watch the show. One should know that there were 2 parties involved in this clash. On one side was the legendary son of god of the Jun family, who was invincible among the younger generation in the Huangtian mystic realm. On the other side was Yu Fuzi, the void swordsman, and the third prince of the sea god. These 3 were famous figures in the Emperor Road. It could be said that a clash of this level was very rare even in the Emperor Road. It would be the center of attention. Let's go to the 12th level of the Emperor Road. Maybe we can witness a battle that will shake the entire Emperor Road. Also, the Infernal Star is about to open. There will be more variables by then, and it will be more interesting. Many geniuses boarded various starry flying ships and set off for the 12th level of the Emperor Road. Meanwhile, Jun Xiaoyao, who was in the eye of the storm, was still cultivating in the Jade Gate Pass Blessed Enclave. After about half a month, Jun Xiaoyao finally opened his eyes. In an instant, a vast and terrifying aura shot up into the sky, bringing with it an ancient force that swept across all directions. At the same time, a 4th divine qi vaguely appeared on the surface of Jun Xiaoyao's body. Chapter 545. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's aura was incomparably powerful. There was a wild aura emanating from him, as if an ancient beast had come to the present world. His palms began to flip and shift. His palms evolved into a mysterious trajectory, as if a Kunpeng was flipping. His palms suddenly swept forward like a Kunpeng swinging its tail, causing the void in front of him to explode. There were spatial cracks spreading. Then, Jun Xiaoyao's mysterious trajectory changed again. It was as if a Kun fish had risen from the sea and transformed into a Kunpeng that covered the sky. His other palm swept out like a Kunpeng spreading its wings, directly splitting the void in front of him again. It was as if countless Kunpeng sword feathers were sweeping across. Finally, Jun Xiaoyao's figure suddenly rose into the air, and the phantom of a Kunpeng seemed to appear behind him. His peerless divine appearance in white seemed to have merged with the phantom of the Kunpeng, transforming into a powerful Kunpeng divine form. It struck the 9 heavens above and the 9 underworlds below, surging with divine power. Is this the Kunpeng divine power? It really lives up to its name. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. The Kunpeng divine power was on par with the true dragon divine power, the divine phoenix divine power, and the Thunder Emperor divine power. They were all rare divine powers in the world, and its power did not disappoint Jun Xiaoyao. The evolution of this Kunpeng is a bit similar to the Kunpeng divine form that the heavenly tyrant body had previously evolved. Could it be that the ancient heavenly tyrant body had merged with the Kunpeng divine power after obtaining the Kunpeng divine power and transformed into one of the 9 great divine forms of the tyrant body? Jun Xiaoyao guessed. This Kunpeng divine power indeed reminded him of the battle with the ancient tyrant body, Chu Tianba, in the eternal burial ground. Chu Tianba had evolved one of the 9 great divine forms of the tyrant body, the Kunpeng divine form. Thinking of Chu Tianba, Jun Xiaoyao could not help but think of another matter. It was the overlord that Chu Tianba had mentioned, the strongest heavenly tyrant body that was destined to rise in this era. If that overlord really appears, we might meet on the ancient road, Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. The saintly physique and the mighty physique were fated enemies. Even though it was unlikely for him to run into the overlord on the imperial road that belonged to the Huangtian mystic realm, he was still worried about the overlord. However, It was clear that he might encounter the legendary Overlord on the ultimate ancient road where the 9 Emperor roads intersected. Forget it. What's the point of thinking about this now? Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. Right now, all he needed to do was to solve the problem at hand. The use of the Kuan Peng's Grand Abijna is not just about attacking. As Jun Xiaoyao spoke, his footsteps flashed. In an instant, there seemed to be a mysterious space Dao pattern spreading out from under his feet. His figure flashed across the sky at an extremely fast speed. Kuan Peng extreme speed. Jun Xiaoyao muttered to himself. This was also one of the abilities of the Kuan Peng. Most importantly, this ability was related to space. The half of the space book that he possessed also recorded the exquisite space Dao. There were some similarities between the two. Thinking of this, Jun Xiaoyao's body trembled slightly. On the surface of his body, the 4th embryonic form of immortal qi appeared. This immortal qi was translucent and carried with it the power of space. This was the 4th immortal qi that Jun Xiaoyao condensed after comprehending the Wukong book and the Kuan Peng's Grand Abijna. Immortal qi in the void. This immortal qi was the concrete manifestation of the space Dao. However, this was still only an embryonic form of immortal qi and not a complete immortal qi. It seems that I have to look for an opportunity to condense immortal qi. Jun Xiaoyao thought. If he could condense this immortal qi in the void, then Jun Xiaoyao's control of space and extreme speed in the void would improve tremendously. There's still more than half of the Kuan Peng's true blood left. I'll save it for the next breakthrough, Jun Xiaoyao said. Jun Xiaoyao could roughly comprehend the Kuan Peng's Grand Abijna in just half a month. In addition to his monstrous comprehension, part of the reason was that he had refined part of the Kuan Peng's true blood. This way, it would be easier to cultivate the Kuan Peng's Grand Abijna. Jun Xiaoyao walked out of his residence and saw that Mui Weihan and the golden-winged roc were already standing outside. They had been alarmed by Jun Xiaoyao's aura and thus came over. When she saw Jun Xiaoyao, Mui Weihan took a deep breath. She could feel that Jun Xiaoyao's aura had become even more unfathomable, and his strength was also stronger than before. As for the golden-winged roc, he could clearly feel the change in Jun Xiaoyao's strength. He cupped his hands and asked, "May I ask, Son of God, have you started to comprehend the Kuan Peng's Grand Abijna?" Jun Xiaoyao tilted his head and said, "I'm almost done with it. I still need some time to practice and study." What? Upon hearing this, the little golden-winged roc king seemed to have been struck by lightning. It had only been half a month, and Jun Xiaoyao had already comprehended the Kuan Peng's Grand Abijna. Even if the golden-winged roc had obtained the Kuan Peng's Grand Abijna, it would take at least a few months or even half a year to master it with the help of his great golden-winged roc bloodline. But in half a month, Jun Xiaoyao had already comprehended it completely. The golden-winged roc was completely impressed. Master Son of God is indeed the strongest. How dare Jade Fozi and the others provoke him? They must be tired of living, Mui Weihan said. Oh, I didn't know that. Tell me about it, Jun Xiaoyao said. He had been in seclusion for half a month and did not know what was going on outside. So he did not know what was going on outside. Mui Weihan had also told Jun Xiaoyao all the recent news. Jade Fozi wants to convert me and take me as a slave, and the Void Sword Master, the 3rd Prince of the Sea God, and the others want to attack me as well. Jun Xiaoyao smiled after hearing the story. Why were there always so many people in this world who did not know their own strength? At this moment, the 9-colored peacock lying in the distance said, "I told you, Master Fozi will not let you go." Jun Xiaoyao looked up and said, "Are you itching for a beating again? Do you need a lesson?" With that, Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward and came behind the 9-colored peacock, which was Kong Xian's real body. He pulled out the feathers on the 9-colored peacocks, but I can make a good 9-colored feather fan. Jun Xiaoyao clicked his tongue. "Ah, you!" The 9-colored peacock, who was Kong Xian, screamed in disbelief. The feather on her but was plucked off by Jun Xiaoyao. This was a great humiliation to Mahami Yuri's bloodline. The 9-colored peacock trembled. There was a bald patch on her, but It felt as if someone had taken off her underwear. Make any more noise, and I'll pull out all your feathers. Let's see Jade Fozie's expression then, Jun Xiaoyao said. The nine-colored peacock lowered her head and did not dare to say anything else. She was afraid that Jun Xiaoyao would really pull out all her feathers. Then she would not be able to face anyone. So this is what Master Son of God likes, Mu Yuehan thought to herself. She even thought that Jun Xiaoyao might have things like whips and candles in his spatial artifact. By the way, do you know where I can find an opportunity to condense immortal qi? Jun Xiaoyao asked. His immortal qi of the void had taken shape. All he needed to do now was to completely condense it. Chapter 546. Master Son of God is finally starting to condense immortal qi, Mu Yuehan thought to herself. Beside her, golden-winged rock said, Son of God, what a coincidence. The infernal star at Hulao Pass, one of the 12 checkpoints of the Emperor Road, is about to open. You might be able to find immortal marrow there. Infernal star? Immortal marrow? Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed. He did not know much about the infernal star, but he knew about immortal marrow. It was a cultivation item of a higher grade than immortal source. Even Supremes would use immortal marrow for cultivation. However, immortal marrow was too rare. Even in the vast Huangtian mystic realm, it was difficult to find such a rare item. Therefore, it could not be used as a currency like celestial sources and immortal sources. However, Jun Xiaoyao did not expect that there would be a place on the Emperor Road where one could obtain immortal marrow. As for the infernal star, from the name alone, it sounded like a very dangerous place to train. However, Jun Xiaoyao did not care. He even dared to enter the bronze immortal palace, one of the 7 wonders. Why would he be afraid of a mere infernal star? By the way, Master Son of God, Yufuzi, and the others are also at Hulao Pass, waiting for the infernal star to open, Mu Yuehan said. Since it's on the way, I'll deal with them all and end their lives, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. He spoke so casually that it sounded like he was going to kill pigs and dogs. Only Master Son of God would have such courage, Mu Yuehan said admiringly. Golden-winged rock said, I hope Son of God will let me deal with you Fuzi first. After refining the Kunping True Blood, Golden-winged rock's aura was much stronger than before. As you wish. Jun Xiaoyao did not mind. After resting for a few more days, Jun Xiaoyao sat on a 9-colored peacock and set off with Mu Yuehan and Golden-winged rock. When they left the Jade Gate Pass, many geniuses were watching. There were even more people who followed behind them, wanting to watch a good show. The Son of God of the Jun family is going up against the 3 big shots. This is going to be a good show. The geniuses were all excited. From the 9th stage to the 12th stage, Jun Xiaoyao and the others had spent several months. During this time, Mu Yuehan also told Jun Xiaoyao some things about Infernal Star. There were rumors about the formation of the Infernal Star because too many Sky Prides had died on the Emperor Road. The unwillingness, resentment, anger, hatred, and jealousy of these prodigies when they were alive converged into a monstrous wave of resentment and karma, eventually forming the Hell Star. On Hell Star, there were many murderous demons, demonic beasts, vengeful spirits, and so on. It was an extremely dangerous training ground. Of course, there were also many heavenly materials and earthly treasures, including immortal marrow that could help condense immortal qi. In short, danger and opportunity coexisted. When Mu Yuehan mentioned such a dangerous place, her expression turned solemn. However, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were indifferent. He did not seem to care at all. To him, such a dangerous place was nothing more than his own backyard. After several months, Jun Xiaoyao finally arrived at the 12th stage of the Emperor Road, Hulao Pass. Hulao Pass was grand and majestic. It was quiet and serene above the stars. Compared to the previous stages, Hulao Pass was more desolate and ancient. The city walls were dark and mottled, carrying with them an ancient aura. Before Jun Xiaoyao had even entered Hulao Pass, he had already attracted the attention of everyone. It's the Son of God of the Jun family. He's here. That's right. His mount is indeed Kong Xian, and the 2 Sky Prides, Golden-winged rock and Mu Yuehan, have actually become the son of God's left and right attendants. Jun Xiaoyao's arrival had undoubtedly ignited the atmosphere of the entire Hulao Pass. Even the soldiers guarding the city were secretly speechless. The arrival of Sky Pride had never caused such a huge commotion like Jun Xiaoyao. Was this the influence of a top-notch Sky Pride of the younger generation in the Huangtian mystic realm? Jun Xiaoyao's expression was calm as he entered Hulao Pass. None of the soldiers were foolish enough to stop him. After entering Hulao Pass, Jun Xiaoyao could sense many powerful auras lying dormant. Although they were nothing in his eyes, they were considered top-notch Sky Prides in the Emperor Road. As expected, the further I go on the Emperor Road, the stronger the Sky Prides I encounter will be, Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. However, what surprised him was that he did not sense the auras of Yu Fuzi and the others. Many female cultivators around him looked at Jun Xiaoyao with bright eyes. They had seen Yu Fuzi, the sea god's third prince, and the others before. They were all extremely handsome people. However, compared to Jun Xiaoyao, it was like comparing a firefly to the moon. There was no comparison at all. Jun Xiaoyao was the perfect kind of handsomeness. There were also some male cultivators who looked at Jun Xiaoyao with admiration in their eyes. They saw him as a goal to strive for. Of course, not everyone was like that. Jun Xiaoyao was also able to sense some coldness and hostility from them. Among the crowd, there was a living being whose body was shining with golden light. There were many mysterious patterns on its surface, as if it was a man carved out of metal. It's him, Jin Guxuan. Rumor has it that he was formed from a kind of supreme metal. He's a good friend of the Gungjin rock spirit. Some people were slightly surprised when they saw that living being. On the other side, there was a beautiful woman in a red dress. She looked at Jun Xiaoyao with cold eyes. While Jun Xiaoyao's appearance dazzled her for a brief moment, it did not change her stance on matter. It's Hong Ling. She's the ancient freak of Wanwang's Spirit Mountain, the follower of Huang Jiuyin. Huang Jiuyin was one of the top Sky Prides in this Emperor Road. He cultivated the Phoenix Life chant, and every time he was pushed to the brink of death, he would be transformed. It was said that Huang Jiuyin had already transformed 7 times. If he was allowed to transform 9 times, he would have the terrifying potential to compete for the throne of the Emperor Road. The son of God of the Jun family is indeed extraordinary. However, when my young master transforms 9 times, he would not be afraid of the son of God of the Jun family. Hong Ling was very confident in Huang Jiuyin. There was also a young man with green wings on his back. He looked at Jun Xiaoyao with a contemplative look in his eyes. It's Long Shuhuang's follower, the successor of the Azure Sky Rock clan, Qing Hong. Some people looked at him. This was another top Sky Pride's follower. Clearly, many people in front of the Emperor Road were paying attention to Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao had unknowingly become a sword of Damocles above the heads of all the Sky Prides in the Emperor Road. Jun Xiaoyao was a huge threat to all the Sky Prides who wanted to compete for the throne of the Emperor Road. In the dark, there was a cloaked man in a black robe who was also observing Jun Xiaoyao. Unlike Hong Ling, Qing Hong, Jin Guxuan, and the others, he did not attract the attention of the Sky Prides around him. The son of God of the Jun family. Is he this generation's sacred body of the ancients? His aura is indeed strong, but master is still stronger. When mentioning his master, the black-robed man's tone was filled with fanaticism. His master was destined to step on the remains of the sacred body of the ancients and reach the peak of this era. Chapter 547. Jun Xiaoyao's arrival at Hulao Pass caused a commotion everywhere. However, what confused Jun Xiaoyao was that he did not sense the auras of Yu Fuzi and the others. Naturally, Jun Xiaoyao did not think that Yu Fuzi and the others feared him. Just at this moment, the sound of waves came from the space in front. A woman with aqua blue curly hair emerged from a wave formed by Tao inscriptions. Her upper body was that of a human, and her skin was as white as ivory. Her chest was covered by a shell. Her lower body was that of a silver fishtail. Her scales shone, looking very beautiful. This was a mermaid. It's the mermaid race of the sea monarch's ancient astral domain. She is the princess of the mermaid race, Umaren. She is also one of the sea god's third crown prince's Tao companions. Upon seeing Umaren, many outstanding talents exclaimed. Umaren looked at Jun Xiaoyao in a daze for a moment. She thought that her Tao companion, the sea god's third crown prince, was already handsome enough. However, this white-clad young master before her was even more handsome than the sea god's third crown prince. Umaren calmed herself and said, "His Highness, the third crown prince, will be waiting for you at the Tao Plaza outside the Underworld Star. I hope that you will not be afraid to go." The Underworld Star's Tao Plaza, Jun Xiaoyao muttered to himself. Umaren continued, "Of course, the third crown prince also said that as long as you are willing to hand over the Kuan Peng great magic skill and the Kuan Peng true blood and apologize to him, he might forgive you." These words silenced the entire Hulao Pass for a moment. Previously, Yu Fuozi wanted to convert Jun Xiaoyao and take him in as a servant. Then, the sea god's third crown prince wanted Jun Xiaoyao to hand over the fortuitous encounter and apologize. Even Jun Xiaoyao was slightly stunned by what he saw. When did he become so shameless? Now, everyone dared to say such harsh words to him? Mui Wehan and the golden-winged rock, who were at the side, berated at the same time. What does the sea god's third crown prince think he is? How dare he threaten the son of God? Umaren shook her head slightly and said, "In this era, heroes rise together. It is not a stage for the Jun family son of God alone. You have offended His Royal Highness, the third prince. You'd better behave yourself." Jun Xiaoyao nodded and said, "You're right. I really should consider what kind of gift I should give to the sea god's third prince." Upon hearing this, all the Emperor Road Sky Prides in Hulao Pass were dumbfounded. The son of God of the Jun family, who had always been domineering and flamboyant, was actually keeping a low profile. Just as everyone thought so, Jun Xiaoyao continued to smile and said, "What do you think about using your head as an apology?" Hearing this, Umaren's expression immediately changed. However, before she could react, a voice rang out. Jun Xiaoyao took a step forward, and a mysterious spatial Tao pattern spread out from under his feet. Vaguely, the shadow of a Kuan Peng appeared behind him. It was the Kuan Peng's extreme speed. It all happened in the blink of an eye, and before anyone could react, Zhang Xian was stunned. In the blink of an eye, Jun Xiaoyao was already in front of Umaren. Umaren retreated instinctively and screamed at the same time, "Son of God of the Jun family, are you crazy? This is Hulao Pass. How dare you make a move?" Fighting was not allowed in the 18 city passes of the Emperor Road. This was an ironclad rule. Were the rules in front of this son of God? Jun Xiaoyao's tone was indifferent. He waved his palm forward, revealing a mysterious trajectory. Like a Kuan Peng swinging its tail, he attacked Umaren. No, Umaren tried her best to resist. But how could she resist the might of the Kuan Peng's grand magic? Her beautiful body exploded almost instantly. Blood splattered everywhere, and broken bones flew everywhere. Only a beautiful head remained in its original state. The last expression on her beautiful face was one of horror and disbelief. She never thought that Jun Xiaoyao would attack her in front of everyone in Hulao Pass. Moreover, envoys were not killed when two nations were at war. Umaren was only here to pass on a message, and she died in the Yellow Springs. This death was too unjust. After killing Umaren, Jun Xiaoyao flung his wrist, and Umaren's head flew towards Muyuehan. Rapawell, didn't the sea god's third crown prince want to apologize? I wonder if he likes this gift? Seeing Umaren's head flying over, Muyuehan's body trembled slightly. She quickly took out a piece of cloth and wrapped it up. As for all the outstanding talents in Hulao Pass, they were like clay statues. They stood there in a daze, unable to recover their wits for a long time. Umaren could be considered a peerless talent. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao killed her with one slap. It was easier than killing a chicken. Murder. The Jun family son of God killed someone in the city pass. We're the city guards. Are they not going to do anything? Why would they care? Didn't you hear? Previously, the June family son of God killed someone in Sword Gate Pass. Even the city guards came out to apologize. Many discussions broke out in the surroundings. He actually mastered the Kunpeng's great magic in such a short time. Hong Ling, Qing Hong, Jing Guxuan, and the others also had fear in their eyes. On the one hand, they were afraid of Jun Xiaoyao's decisiveness. On the other hand, they were surprised that Jun Xiaoyao was able to directly perform the Kunpeng's great magic. As for the black-robed, cloaked man hiding in the dark, he was also surprised. He said, "This generation's sacred body of the ancients is indeed not weak." The entire Hulao Pass was shaken by Jun Xiaoyao. At that moment, a captain braced himself and stepped forward. There was still a trace of shock in his eyes. Seeing this scene, many of the Emperor Road's outstanding talents were surprised. Was this captain here to denounce Yi Fuqian? Jun Xiaoyao glanced at the captain indifferently. Smack! The captain's legs went soft, and he tripped and fell to the ground. He then got up awkwardly and respectfully cupped his hands. "I'm a son of God of the Jun family. The Lord Guardian has ordered that Hellstar will be opened. If the son of God is interested, you can go to the dojo outside Hellstar and wait." The captain lowered his head and said respectfully, "I see. I understand." Jun Xiaoyao nodded slightly. This scene silenced all the outstanding talents. The Yu Marin was killed in front of everyone in the city pass, but this captain did not even dare to mention it. Even the Lord Guardian did not have the slightest objection. Instead, he had already ordered Jun Xiaoyao to go to Hellstar's dojo. From all these aspects, it was enough to see that Jun Xiaoyao's identity and strength were enough to allow him to stand above the rules. His words were dogma. Even geniuses like Long Xuhuang, Huang Jian, and the descendants of the crocodile ancestor could not be as unscrupulous as the son of God of the Jun family, right? In the eyes of the Emperor Road's guardians, the Jun family is more terrifying than the other immortal forces. Some of the outstanding talents whispered to each other. They did not know about the great immortal war that took place in the Huangtian mystic realm. If they knew, they would not find it strange. If the Jun family was really angry and used all their resources, the entire Emperor Road would be destroyed. Therefore, these high and mighty Imperial Pass Guardians did not dare to offend Jun Xiaoyao. Even if Jun Xiaoyao killed someone in public, they would just pretend that they did not see it. All right, let's go to Hellstar's dojo and give the Sea God's third prince this big gift. Jun Xiaoyao put his hands behind his back and stepped on the 9-colored peacock's head. Mui Weihan and the golden-winged rock followed on his left and right. They rushed to Hellstar's dojo. Let's go and watch a good show. All the outstanding talents in Hulao Pass were on the move. They followed behind Jun Xiaoyao, ready to watch a big show. Jing Guxuan, Qing Hong, Hong Ling, the Black Cloak Man, and the others also followed behind with sparkles in their eyes. In an instant, all the outstanding talents in Hulao Pass were led by Jun Xiaoyao, forming a long river and heading to Hellstar's dojo. Chapter 548. The Infernal Star was located in the void, a million miles away from Hulao Pass. It was a dark red star that was shrouded in an ominous aura. Outside the Infernal Star, there was a majestic dojo floating in the void. This was where the Emperor Road's Sky Prides prepared themselves and settled down. The teleportation portal to the Infernal Star was also here. At this moment, in the starry sky not far from the Infernal Star dojo, the vast and mighty stream of people surged over like a surging heavenly river, traversing the void. The person in the lead stood on a 9-colored peacock with his hands behind his back. His robes fluttered in the wind, making him look like a real immortal. What's going on? So many auras are coming. Oh my God, those are the Sky Prides from Hulao Pass. They're all here. Look, the person in the lead. Is he the rumored son of God of the Jun family? The arrival of such a large group of people had obviously attracted the attention of the Sky Prides in the dojo. The Infernal Star was about to open, and they were also making preparations. Is that the Infernal Star? Jun Xiaoyao looked at the dark red star. The entire star was like a dark red demon's eye, carrying with it a murderous aura. Wisps of blood-red mist wrapped around the star like a waterfall. Because Jun Xiaoyao's primordial spirit was very sensitive, he could also sense that the infernal star was shrouded in resentment. Could it really be a dangerous place formed by the resentment of the sky prides who died in the Emperor Road? Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. Then, Jun Xiaoyao turned to look at the dojo floating in the starry sky. He could also sense that there were many powerful auras hidden in the dojo. The sky prides who dared to go to the infernal star to train were all capable. They were not ordinary people. Among these powerful auras, Jun Xiaoyao could also sense 3 extremely powerful auras. If the sky pride's auras were a ball of fire, then these 3 powerful auras were like the sun. Boom! In the infernal star dojo, the 3 auras rose at almost the same time. This aura carried a golden Buddhist light, as if it had the power to deliver all living beings from torment. This aura was incomparably sharp as it turned into a terrifying sword chi that seemed as though it could slice through the void for thousands of miles. A strand of aura, vast and boundless like the ocean, surged with magical power, surging out like a great wave breaking a dike. These 3 auras gushed out like volcanoes and pressed down on Jun Xiaoyao. The eyes of the prodigies from Hulao Pass who had followed Xiao Chun overflashed when they sensed the 3 terrifying auras pressing over. Is he trying to intimidate the son of God of the Jun family before even showing his face? Jun Xiaoyao's expression was calm as he sensed the overwhelming aura. He snorted coldly and flung his sleeves. His aura erupted, causing the universe to collapse. It was as if a supreme immortal king had awakened, his aura powerful to the point of making one tremble. Boom! The 3 auras that were pressing over were all destroyed by Jun Xiaoyao's flick of his sleeves. Jun Xiaoyao's aura alone was resisting the auras of the 3 little giants, and he was still crushing them. This made the prodigies behind him take a deep breath again. At this moment, a cold laugh came from the dojo. Haha, as expected of the person who dared to take away my opportunity. Jun Xiaoyao, as the number 1 person among the younger generation of the Huangtian mystic realm, you are indeed something. As his cold voice came out, in one of the buildings in the dojo, a huge wave suddenly turned into a pillar of water that gushed out, revealing a figure. It was a handsome young man with a head of ocean blue hair that scattered spots of light. He wore the 7 seas serpent armor and held the Sea King's trident. It was the sea god's 3rd prince from the Sea King's ancient star zone. He first looked at Jun Xiaoyao and then glanced around, but he didn't see that figure. Where did the mermaid go? The sea god's 3rd prince was a little confused. However, he didn't think too much about it. Right now, his main focus was still on Jun Xiaoyao. In another dojo building, a golden Buddha's light surged out. Many prodigies who were illuminated by this Buddha's light were slightly dazed, as if they had developed a desire to worship. After a while, they came back to their senses with a deep shock in their eyes. Just a wisp of Buddha's light was enough to shake their minds. How terrifying was Yufuzi! In the sky full of Buddha's light, Yufuzi's figure also appeared. He wore a jade-white Zen robe, and his face was like jade. He had a smile on his face, like a Buddha who smiled while holding a flower. He wasn't the only one who appeared. The followers of the prodigies who had been converted by him also followed. There was also the suppressed, 9-headed lion. When it saw Jun Xiaoyao's figure that it hadn't seen in a long time, it cried out with tears in its eyes. Master, Master, it's me, 9-headed lion. Stop, you're finally here. I've suffered so much. The 9-headed lion cried out with tears in its eyes, as if it had seen its closest relative. Goshing, looks like you're quite energetic. I don't have to worry about you, Jun Xiaoyao said with a smile. The 9-headed lion's tears immediately stopped. The surrounding prodigies looked at the 9-headed lion with strange gazes. Goshing, this name? Master, we haven't seen each other in a long time. Can we not talk about my dark history? The 9-headed lion grinned and gritted its teeth. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. His gaze fell on Yufuzi, and his expression turned serious. This Yufuzi was indeed something. Not only was he powerful, but the power of his primordial spirit was also far superior to that of ordinary prodigies. No wonder he can convert others, Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. You're Jun Xiaoyao. Bullying a weak woman is beneath your son of God demeanor. Yu Fuzi was still smiling with narrowed eyes. Lord Buddha, you must suppress this bastard. Under Jun Xiaoyao's feet, the nine-colored peacock spoke with a hopeful tone. She hoped that Yu Fuzi could suppress Jun Xiaoyao and help her vent her anger. Noisy, Jun Xiaoyao stomped his foot. The nine-colored peacock screamed. Yu Fuzi's smile faded. Why aren't you smiling anymore? Squinting your eyes all the time. Do you really think people with squinting eyes are monsters? Jun Xiaoyao smirked. He was also very tired of such hypocrites. Why bother talking to this person? Anyway, as long as he dares to enter Infernal Star, he won't be able to walk out alive. Suddenly, a cold voice was heard. A swordsman in a green robe rose up on a flying sword. The space around him vibrated, and sword chi gathered. It was the sword son of the void. However, at this moment, he was in his original body. His aura was much stronger than the spiritual body in the Kuan Peng nest. When the void swordsman appeared, Jun Xiaoyao could clearly feel that he had comprehended the space book. When the void swordsman saw Jun Xiaoyao, he could also feel that the space around Jun Xiaoyao was vibrating slightly. Could it be? Could it be? The void swordsman's eyes lit up. The space book. Jun Xiaoyao had the other half of the space book that he had been dreaming of. The void swordsman took a deep breath and suppressed the excitement in his heart. Had to get the other half of the space book, no matter what the cost. Jun Xiaoyao and the swordmaster of the void both had deep looks in their eyes. They had a tacit understanding and didn't mention the space-breaking book. When the time came, they would see who could get the other half of the space book. Chapter 549. The appearance of the three figureheads had undoubtedly pushed the atmosphere to a climax. The air was filled with the smell of gunpowder. The sea god's third prince said coldly, Jun Xiaoyao, although you're not weak, the Emperor Road doesn't belong to you alone. If you hand over the Kuan Peng's divine power and the Kuan Peng's true blood, I can choose not to be your enemy. The sea god's third prince was not stupid. Although the Jun family was unlikely to intervene in the Battle of the Emperor Road personally. However, Jun Xiaoyao's background was there for all to see. Even if he was the sea god's third prince of the ancient star region, he could not help but be wary. Therefore, if he could get the benefits directly, there was no need for him to be Jun Xiaoyao's enemy. The price he had to pay was too high. Jun Xiaoyao smiled and nodded slightly. You're right. I, the son of God, do have something to give you. After saying that, Jun Xiaoyao clapped his hands. Mui Wahan, who was standing beside him, had a hint of mockery in her beautiful eyes. She threw something wrapped in cloth to the sea god's third prince. Oh, did you already prepare it? The sea god's third prince looked puzzled. He took the thing and opened it. Suddenly, a bloody woman's head appeared in front of him. Her face was twisted with fear. Boom! The sea god's third prince felt as if he had been struck by lightning. His brain was buzzing. Yumarin, the sea god's third prince's pupils shrank to the size of a needle. Then, he roared into the sky. His ocean blue hair danced wildly in the wind. He was furious. Although Yumarin was only one of his companions, she was the one he valued and liked the most. Now all that was left was a cold head. What do you think? Do you like this gift from the Son of God? Jun Xiaoyao clasped his hands behind his back. The corner of his mouth was still curled up in that gentle and calm smile. Seeing this scene, many sky prides of the Emperor Road were disappointed. Everyone said that Yu Fuzi was a smiling tiger. Now, they felt that the son of God of the Jun family was just as cunning. I want you dead. The sea god's third prince wielded the Sea King's trident and thrust it at Jun Xiaoyao. Now, the Jun family and their background were nothing to be afraid of. Jun Xiaoyao had already stepped on his head. If he still swallowed this insult, his Tao heart would collapse. The Golden Sea King's trident pierced towards Jun Xiaoyao with a supreme mystic force. It was a rare supreme weapon. In the Sea King ancient starfield, there was a real monarch weapon, the Sea God's trident. Although the Sea King's trident was a replica of the Sea God's trident, it was still a supreme being weapon. The Sea God's third prince's attack was like a sea of stars that surged out along with the Sea King's trident. Its might was frightening. Upon seeing this, Jun Xiaoyao did not bring out the myriad chi cauldron. Instead, he stretched out a hand. Many of the Emperor Road's sky prides widened their eyes when they saw this. Don't tell me that the Jun family son of God is going to resist a supreme weapon with his physical body. How is this possible? Even if he has the sacred body of the ancients, he can't resist a supreme weapon if he hasn't cultivated it to perfection. Jun Xiaoyao's move surprised everyone. A cold glint flashed in the Sea God's third prince's eyes. If he could take advantage of this opportunity to kill Jun Xiaoyao, he might really shake up the Emperor Road. As for the consequences, Jun Xiaoyao had already killed his partner and humiliated him by stepping on his head. What else could he care about in the end? Die. The Sea God's third prince unleashed the power of a saint. He held the Sea King's trident in his hand and stabbed it at Jun Xiaoyao's chest. Jun Xiaoyao stretched out 2 fingers. Clang! It was as if 2 divine weapons were colliding. Sparks burst out. The Sea God's third prince was stunned in the next moment. Jun Xiaoyao clamped the tip of the trident between his index and middle fingers. The power that was as vast as the ocean was completely stopped by Jun Xiaoyao's 2 fingers. All the spectating sky prides narrowed their eyes and were shocked. Did he really block it? What kind of monstrous physical body does the Jun family son of God have? How many shackles has the sacred body of the ancients of the Jun family broken? How could his physical body be so strong? All the sky prides were incredulous. Resisting a supreme weapon with one's physical body was something they had never seen before. What a strong physical body. It's not much weaker than my master's, the black-cloaked man in the dark whispered in surprise. You? The Sea God's third prince was stunned. He shook his arm and infused it with the power of saint. He wanted to shake off Jun Xiaoyao's fingers. However, Jun Xiaoyao's fingers seemed to contain billions of pounds of power. They locked the Sea King's trident in place. Let go. The Sea God's third prince's eyes were filled with shock and anger. It was humiliating and tarnishing his reputation. Jun Xiaoyao flicked his fingers, and a terrifying recoil surged out. The entire Sea King's trident buzzed and shook, bending it into a curve. Then, the Sea God's third prince's expression suddenly changed, and he quickly let go. However, the terrifying power still hit him. Although the Sea God's third prince was protected by the 7 seas Jiao dragon armor, he still grunted from the shock and tasted blood in his mouth. There was a hint of horror in his eyes. It was worth noting that Jun Xiaoyao had only flicked his fingers. He actually forced the Sea God's third prince to retreat with a flick of his finger. The Void Sword Master in Yu Fuzi's eyes were also slightly focused. They had never underestimated Jun Xiaoyao. However, Jun Xiaoyao's performance was still somewhat beyond their expectations. I don't believe it. Again, the Sea God's third prince looked ashamed and angry. He was about to attack again to avenge his previous humiliation. At that moment, a cold shout was heard. Everyone stop! A figure flew over from the Dao Plaza. It was one of the commanders of Hulao Pass. The Underworld Star is about to open. At that time, you can fight however you want. However, you are at the Dao Plaza now. Do not mess around. This commander's face was stiff and cold, as if he was an impartial judge. However, the Sea God's third prince felt somewhat frustrated. When Jun Xiaoyao attacked, why did this commander not appear to enforce the rules? Now that the Sea God's third prince was at a disadvantage and wanted to retaliate, this commander appeared. How can he look down on others like that? We'll talk about it when the time comes then. After all, this son of God is the most law-abiding. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly, not in a rush. Countless people ridiculed Xiao Chen's words. Who was the one who said that he wanted to die, Sword Gate Pass red with blood? Who was the one who publicly killed people in Hulao Pass? Law-abiding Jun Xiaoyao. I am not lying, some outstanding talents complained in their hearts. Yu Fuozi gave Jun Xiaoyao a deep look. Then, he looked at the peacock that Yu Fuozi sat on and said, Kong Xian, endure for a while longer. Naturally, I will save you. The Void Sword Son's eyes also brimmed with fighting spirit. He needed to obtain Jun Xiaoyao Spacebook. The sea god's third prince hugged the mermaid's head, a bone-chilling coldness in his eyes. The sea god's third prince did not say anything. However, it was clear that the grudge between him and Jun Xiaoyao was irreconcilable. Just as the atmosphere eased slightly, suddenly, the dark red underworld star in the distance started trembling slightly. A horrifying power of resentment turned into a surging dark red fog, nearly encasing the entire underworld star. It looks like the trial this time is more difficult than before. With a legendary 19th floor of the underworld star open, there was a serious look in the commander's eyes. Chapter 550. The Infernal Star could be said to be one of the most dangerous training grounds on the Emperor Road. Less than 1 in 10 prodigies could make it out alive. Even so, there were still countless prodigies who went there. That was because there was a chance to find immortal essence on the Infernal Star. It was to the extent where if one's luck was even better, finding an immortal essence mine, then that would be a heaven-defying opportunity, completely striking it rich. Of course, immortal essence mines were very rare and were usually located in the depths of the Infernal Star. If one was not a powerful prodigy, venturing in recklessly was equivalent to courting death. Next, I will tell you about the rules of the Infernal Star. Listen carefully. If you lose your lives, don't blame me, the commander said. There are 18 levels from the surface to the depths of the Infernal Star. Of course, there is an extra level, the 19th level. I'm sure you've heard of it, the commander said. The 19th level of the Infernal Star, could it be the legendary? One of the prodigies seemed to have thought of something. His face turned green with fear. That's right, one of the 7 wonders, the 19th level of the Infernal Star. It's definitely not a place you can enter. However, the 19th level of the Infernal Star is usually not opened. This time, it's hard to say. The commander's words made all the prodigies in the training hall look unprecedentedly serious. One of the 7 wonders, the 19th level of the Infernal Star, Jun Xiaoyao muttered to himself. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao realized that the 19th level of the Infernal Star was referring to the 19th level of the Infernal Star. As everyone knew, there were 18 levels in Infernal Star. Then the 19th level? Was there a deeper meaning to it? No one knew what was in it, because none of those who went in came out alive. The commander continued, let's not talk about the 19th level, as long as you don't court death and don't go in. As for the other 18 levels, there will be domains on every level. They will suppress 1/10 of your strength. For example, the first 6 levels will suppress the physical body. Every level, they will put shackles on your physical body, 1/10 of your strength. Finally, the 6th level, your physical body will only have 4/10 of its strength left. After the 6th level, it will be a restriction on spiritual power, same as the physical body. When you enter the 12th level, your spiritual power will also be reduced to 4/10. The last 6 levels will suppress the primordial spirit. What if he could reach the 18th floor? The power of my essence spirit will also be reduced to 40%. In other words, what if you go down to the lowest level? All of you only have 40% of your abilities left. The words caused the geniuses on the dojo to swallow their saliva in silence. In the end, he only has 40% of his strength left. How is he going to fight? That's right, the Infernal Star is already a dangerous place. If we only have 40% of our strength left, wouldn't we be courting death? Many Sky Prides felt that this was no different from courting death. Who told you to go down to the 18th level? If you don't have the ability, then stay on the upper level. If you are too cowardly, you can also leave, the commander said coldly. The geniuses clenched their teeth, unwilling to give up. If they cowered in fear, it would greatly affect their Tao hearts. Sigh. I'm afraid only the little tycoons and the son of God of the Jun family are qualified to enter. Some of the geniuses secretly looked at Jun Xiaoyao. They were very curious whether Jun Xiaoyao had the ability to reach the 18th level of the Infernal Star. All right, you all should prepare yourselves. We should be able to open it in a few days. After saying that, the commander looked at Jun Xiaoyao. Ufuzi, the sword master of the void, and the third prince of the sea god. Then, with a wave of his hand, 4 rays of light landed on each of them. This is... Jun Xiaoyao reached out to take it, and found that it was a jade talisman. This jade talisman can resist the domain restraints of the infernal star for 15 minutes. In other words, no matter which level you are on, you'll be able to unleash your full strength for 15 minutes, the commander said. What? Is there such a good thing? When the other geniuses heard that, their eyes lit up. This jade talisman was a life-saving talisman at a critical moment. Commander, may I ask where our jade talismans are? One of the geniuses asked with cupped fists. You? The commander glanced at him indifferently. No. How can this be? This is not fair. Many of the geniuses cried out. If you have the talent, strength, or family background of theirs, you can ask me for it. If you don't, then shut your mouth. The commander waved his hand and ignored them. All the geniuses' expressions turned ugly. This was the privileged class. However, they could not refute him. The third prince of the sea god was the crown prince of the Sea King ancient star region. The sword master of the void was a famous honorable void expert. Ufuzi was backed by the imperishable ancient sect, the Little Western Paradise. As for Jun Xiaoyao, not to mention his background was the most prominent among the 4 of them. He was backed by 2 clan of the ancients. Who among the geniuses present had such a background? Moreover, they did not know that Jun Xiaoyao was the master of the imperial court. If they knew, they would be even more shocked. Jun Xiaoyao was the synonym of power. Only he dared to ignore the rules of the Emperor Road. No one dared to punish him. What an evil, privileged class. Some of the geniuses gritted their teeth, but there was nothing they could do. This was the reality. Unleashing my full strength for 15 minutes? Not bad. Jun Xiaoyao did not hold back and kept it. Fairness and justice? That was just a trick to fool children. Only a bastard would not take advantage of the situation. The next few days were calm and peaceful. Nothing much happened. Ufuzi and the others restrained themselves and did not cause trouble for Jun Xiaoyao. However, it was obvious that an intense battle would break out once they entered the infernal star. Finally, about 7 or 8 days later, the infernal star in the distance shook again. All kinds of resentment, hatred, and other negative emotions boiled and turned into a bloody mist. Even though the dojo was some distance away from the infernal star, the geniuses could still feel the trembling. For a moment, some of the geniuses began to hesitate and wanted to retreat. All right, the teleportation formation will be activated. Once you step in, you'll be teleported to every corner of the infernal star. The commander appeared and activated the teleportation formation in the dojo. Jun Xiaoyao, Mu Yuehan, the Golden Winged Rock, and the others appeared. Ufuzi, the Void Sword Master, and the others also appeared. The third crown prince of the sea god glanced at Jun Xiaoyao coldly with a sinister look in his eyes. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, was calm and composed. He completely ignored everyone's gaze. Let's go. Jun Xiaoyao stepped forward and was the first to enter the teleportation formation. The rest of the Sky Prides also stepped into the teleportation array. Jing Guxuan, Qing Hong, Hong Ling, the Cloaked Man, and the others also stepped into the formation. Of course, not all of the geniuses had the courage to do so. Some of the geniuses stayed behind. The Nine-Headed Lion and Kong Xian also stayed behind and did not enter the Infernal Star. Master, you must teach that long-haired, bald donkey a lesson, the Nine-Headed Lion roared. Impossible. My Lord Arhut is truly invincible, Kong Xian retorted. Chapter 551. Bitch. What do you know? The Nine-Headed Lion opened all 9 mouths and shouted at the same time. You? Kong Xian's eyes were cold. At that moment, the commander took out a bronze mirror. Moments later, the scene in every corner of the Infernal Star was reflected in the mirror. Of course, the only place that wasn't reflected was the legendary 19th level. There was a special and mysterious domain there. No artifacts or methods could see through it. Just in time, you can open your eyes and see how my master tortures the long-haired bald donkey, the Nine-Headed Lion shouted. Maybe you'll see the June family son of God in a sorry state, Kong Xian retorted coldly. At that moment, the figure of an old man in white suddenly appeared in the void. When he saw the old man, the commander's eyelids twitched. He hurriedly cupped his hands and said, "Greetings, Lord Guardian." This old man was the guardian of Hulao Pass, Chong Ming Supreme. What? Even the Lord Guardian is here? Many of the sky prides below who didn't enter the infernal star were extremely surprised. Haha, I'm just a little curious and interested, Chong Ming Supreme said. It seems that the Lord Guardian is here for the June family's son of God. The commander thought to himself. If it weren't for June Xiaoyao, Chong Ming Supreme wouldn't have been interested in coming to the infernal star to watch the battle. Although Yufuzi and the other sky prides were strong, they couldn't arouse Chong Ming Supreme's interest. Not only did he enter the bronze celestial palace, but he also came out alive and even controlled the palace. June family son of God, will you create another impossible miracle this time? Chong Ming Supreme was curious. On a barren and desolate land in the infernal star, an ancient teleportation portal released a burst of light. Then, June Xiaoyao's figure flashed out of it. Is this the infernal star? June Xiaoyao looked over. The ground was dark red, as if it was stained by blood. The mountain range was filled with desolation. It was like the white skeleton of an ancient ferocious beast, desolate and bleak. The ground was littered with white bones. Not only were there human cultivators, but there were also all kinds of creatures and alien races. This is indeed an ominous place, June Xiaoyao muttered to himself. However, he had the sacred body of the ancients, which was a natural counter to all kinds of evil. Such a training ground was quite suitable for him. June Xiaoyao walked forward, and before long, he encountered a group of human devils unique to the infernal star. Before entering the infernal star, the commander had explained it to him. On the infernal star, due to the gathering of resentment, terrifying demonized creatures were formed, such as demons, demonic beasts, and so on. Generally speaking, sky demons, earth demons, and human demons were the main types of demonized creatures. Human demons roamed the surface of infernal star. Old demon, living underground. As for the sky fiend, was it a mass of demonic will without substance? However, this was often even more bizarre and terrifying. The group of human devils in front of him were covered in black scales. Their faces were ferocious, and their cultivation levels ranged from the Tao God realm to the quasi-saint realm. June Xiaoyao could kill such an existence with a flick of his finger. Between his fingers, the sword Qi of the immortal Slayer's sword art burst out. It wiped out all the human devils in front of him. Immortal marrow is usually found underground, and rare immortal marrow veins are more likely to encounter sky demon emperors, earth demon emperors, and other existences. June Xiaoyao said to himself, Sky demon emperors? Earth demon emperors? Even among the sky demons and earth demons, boss-like existences, according to the commander, almost all of them had the combat power of a perfected saint. If he was unlucky, it was even possible to encounter a Saint King. However, for June Xiaoyao, he was not afraid at all. His only goal was to obtain the immortal marrow and condense immortal qi. Next, June Xiaoyao began to look for the entrance to the underground. On the other side, Jade Fozi, the sword son of the void, the third prince of the sea god, and the others were also pushing forward. The human devils on the surface could not stop them at all. They also decided to think of a way to condense a second immortal qi before dealing with June Xiaoyao. Although the human devils on the surface could not pose the slightest hindrance to the elites of the small giants. However, if the other elites encountered them, they would also be entangled for a while and might even die. Soon, there were casualties among the elites who entered the infernal star. Some of the elites were directly surrounded by a group of human devils, torn into pieces and devoured. On the other side of the dojo, the light screen formed by the bronze mirror showed a cruel scene. The rest of the elites who did not enter the infernal star turned pale, and fear lingered in their hearts. It seemed that sometimes being a little cowardly was not a bad thing. Look, the son of God of the June family has found the entrance. One of the elites suddenly exclaimed. Everyone's eyes were focused on that direction. On the infernal star, Jun Xiaoyao stopped in his tracks. In front of him, there was a bottomless pit that seemed to lead straight to hell. Waves of cold and eerie aura spread out, and a thick smell of blood rose up, making people flinch. Is this the entrance? Below should be the first level of the infernal star, Jun Xiaoyao said to himself. The infernal star had a total of 18 levels from the surface to the top. As for the legendary 19th level, it should be the core of the infernal star. Perhaps the secret of the infernal star's formation was hidden there. One of the 7 wonders, the 19th level of the infernal star. If I have the chance, should I go in and take a look? Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. Just then, the system's voice sounded in his mind. Ding! Congratulations, host. New check-in location has been refreshed. Please check in at the 19th level of the infernal star. When Jun Xiaoyao heard that, he was a little embarrassed. System, do you want me to die so badly? These check-in locations were either the Burial Realm, the Bronze Divine Palace, or the 19th level of the infernal star. They were all places that resembled the netherworld. Did the system think that he was not courting death enough? The system serves the host wholeheartedly. It has no ill intentions, and it has no intention of killing the host. The system replied in a mechanical voice. All right, I believe you, Jun Xiaoyao said. He did not believe his own words. Of course, this was just a small interlude. Jun Xiaoyao was indeed interested in the legendary 19th level of the infernal star. Next, Jun Xiaoyao went down to the first level. After going down to the first level, Jun Xiaoyao's body seemed to have vaguely appeared a shackle. Jun Xiaoyao was able to sense that his physical powers had been suppressed by 1/10 as soon as the shackle appeared. Because he already knew, Jun Xiaoyao did not panic at all. With his physical strength, even if it was reduced to 1/100th of his strength, he would still be far more powerful than a prodigy of the same level, let alone 1/10. Jun Xiaoyao continued to move forward. As he went deeper, he also encountered earth demons. These earth demons were more ferocious than human demons. They were like wild beasts. Of course, their strength was also stronger. The weakest of them was at the perfected Tao God realm. However, with Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation, he naturally swept through them. Along the way, he was also searching for immortal essence. At the same time, in another place underground, a black-robed man casually killed a group of earth demons. On the surface of his body, 2 wisps of immortal qi vaguely appeared. The second wisp of immortal qi was slightly illusory. That was enough to shock everyone. Such a cultivation level was enough to be called a small powerhouse. However, no one knew about him.